This is a HeadGum podcast.
This week on the program, haven't we seen this movie 10,000 times? It's The Amazing Spider-Man. I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Chris Cabin.
The amazing Eric Siska.
And we saw that coming. Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in. As always, that's right. The 2019 Summer Blockbuster Extravaganza rolls on with The Amazing Spider-Man from the year of our Lord 2012, the year this whole thing was supposed to fucking end, and it didn't. Directed by Marc Webb.
Oh, you mean
the planet?
World? Yeah,
I meant the planet at large.
It would have been amazing if it did.
Like that guy that had that van outside the garden for all those months leading up. There's like, come on, baby. And it turned out that lunatic was wrong.
Tailgating the apocalypse. I like it. I mean, we really should have all died in 2012. We wouldn't have had to live through what we have these past few years. And it would.
Oh, fuck. Wait a second. Fan theory.
Yeah, we've been dead the whole time.
We've been dead the whole time.
Fan theory for reality?
This is our afterlife.
He's a fan of reality, Chris.
Just a message to the maker. You can hit send on that email anytime. You know what I mean? Like, just because you missed it in 2012
That's
doesn't
true.
mean you missed the window.
Yeah, man. Nobody's going to be checking time codes. You can just send that email.
He's going to wake up in like 2030 and be like, oh, shit, that's still in drafts.
No, I ended that. Oh, what? Oh, what?
Oh,
This is ridiculous.
I got hung up on whether I should have said thanks or best at the end.
This movie, of course, was the first Spider-Man reboot.
Right. And it's 2012, which we should mention, yes, is breaking our usual 10-year rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody
But,
cares.
yeah,
though.
exactly.
I mean, at least the four people in this room who run the show.
The thing is, there's a Spider-Man movie out.
Right.
And we're going to talk about it, Spider-Man's, when the movies are out.
And it's Spider-Man Far From Home after Homecoming. What's the third one going to be? We're going to keep home.
Spider-Man home cooking, dude.
Home
It's just him making his sandwich.
Spider-Man housekeeping.
Oh, actually, if it was Spider-Man home cooking, it takes place around Thanksgiving.
Ooh, I
and
like that.
the Vulture gets out of jail.
And they cook them.
Spider-Man Home Alone could happen.
Oh, that dude, Spider-Man homeless. Aunt May can't fucking keep up the rent.
My Lord.
And for some reason, they're refused entrance to the Avengers compound or Stark Tower.
Spider-Man Homeowners Association. That's the difficult one.
Oh, right.
Oh, it's
yeah.
him just fighting people about the color of his siding.
Yeah, bureaucracy out the wazoo. They wouldn't even let Spider-Man have a garden.
How about the Spider-Man retirement home? Come
I like
on,
that. That'll be the
end it
last
all.
one. Yeah.
that's
yeah,
right.
Old Man Spider-Man. Steve Sadak, you're the expert on Spider-Man.
No, I'm not.
Has there ever been an elderly Spider-Man?
I'm sure there has to have. There was, like that Earth X was like a future-y kind of a thing. I don't think you've ever seen like a really old Spider-Man.
Earth X, that's when Professor X owns the planet.
It's like a whole fucking thing that was like kind of trying to be Kingdom Come for Marvel. They got the same artist. Kind of a
really?
guy.
So it was
yeah.
the same painted?
Yes, but they only this son of a bitch only did the covers, and I was like, I'm out. That was like all of the covers. And the
I kind of wish I had the comic continuity for all the stuff I like, because with comics, it's just like, yep, that happened. Because everything has happened.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me say, though, I think the idea behind Spider-Man retirement home is he has some sort of terminal illness, and he convinces J. Jonah Jameson to help him with assisted suicide, and J. Jonah Jameson puts his thumb on the web slinger button and helps him press it, and it shoots a web right on his face, and he suffocates himself and dies.
That'd be great.
Right?
The thing is, because he's got like Parkinson's now, and he's just shooting webs on the floor all the time. So it's like sad.
God, that is fucking sad.
Yeah, I can still do I'm still the web crawler. I can crawl, but it's only on the ground.
All right, Mr. Fury, I'm gonna go help you in a minute. I just have to go to the bathroom. Ha! Oh! It's just difficult. It hurts when he
Spidey stones, passing all of these Spidey stones.
And the webbing's like dusty. Ew.
Well, he ain't there yet, but this Andrew Garfield was pushing 30 years old making this movie, by the way.
Man.
We did the math, Steve. What was he, 28, 29 years
29
old?
years old, yeah.
Good
Really?
Lord.
Now, previous episode, if you don't know, we did the sequel to this movie already. We always
We're working backwards.
exactly.
Our Spider-Man trilogy is as such. We did Amazing Spider-Man Part 2. Then we did Spider-Man 3. And
right.
now we're doing Amazing Spider-Man. Whatever, you guys. It's the summer and I'm on vacation.
We did one on screen for Far From Home, and
Yeah.
we're going to have to wait for a WLM to do the first two.
Yeah.
I think you mean
Homecoming.
Homecoming, yes.
Far From Home, maybe we'll get to it.
I
Maybe.
rewatched the first two Raimi movies back when I got that PS4 game.
They're great.
They totally hold up.
I
Totally
think
like
the
them.
first one is really, really good, and it's a little
But that is
cheesy but
also,
fun.
I like it, but that's also like we just have 35-year-olds going to high school.
Oh, yes.
Everyone is too big for like the chairs in that movie.
It's like Homer when he has to go to parent-teacher night.
But at least he graduates in that first movie. They kind of rush him off to college.
Right.
They got to look at Tobey Maguire. This guy's got to go to college.
But now Andrew Garfield, who I do not like.
Really?
And I think
Really?
the older I get, the less I like him. He should now. You look at him in this movie. Why is he not playing Slender Man? Because this guy is a beanstalk.
In a Spider-Man movie, Slender
Sure.
Man now gets
Yeah.
into this.
How about
Okay.
Spider-Man v. Slender Man?
In that Slender Man movie, though, was it played by a person or was it just like CGI?
I think
it was
it's mostly just CGI.
Maybe Doug Jones showed up, probably.
Doug Jones is in a rip-off Slender
That's
Man
all
Are
movie.
you
right, I got it
serious?
mixed up.
Tell me
Absolute-
of this.
Okay,
Now, we
yeah.
should get Doug Jones to stand on top of his own head, like CGI that.
Sure.
To make your Slender Man. I want like a person portraying Slender Man. I do not want this CGI's.
I liked one of the. I'll full disclosure. I liked this movie when it came out.
Yep.
I remember like that was all right. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it, but I was like, oh, it's a step in the right direction because everyone was so burned by Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Or most people were. Some people will defend that movie. That's fine.
Oh, no, Doug Jones was the Bye-Bye Man.
Yeah,
the
he was
Bye-Bye
the
Man,
He was
not
definitely the
Slender
Bye-Bye
Man.
Man.
No, but... Oh, right. Excuse me. I'm mixing up stupid things I don't
Don't
like.
think it,
No,
don't
but
say it.
I got to find this other movie. It's here somewhere. Keep
It's like
talking.
Beware
But-
the Slender Man or something like that.
But one of the things I liked about this movie was him, and I did like the slender Spider-Man because
Ew.
that's of a kin of like how Spider-Man kind
I
of.
want a chunky
You want
Spider-Man.
to? I thought. I
Tobey
thought
Maguire husky? What are you talking
he's
about?
a little thick, dude.
Is
He's-
that right?
Listen, in 2002,
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire was thin as a rail.
Sure.
But they keep moving the bar on me, and I keep getting fatter every year. So.
Well, no, that I know. I mean, I'm never gonna be thin, but that's okay.
But Tobey Maguire is a small man. He's like
Yes.
the size of a Rubik's Cube.
He played a jockey in the Seabiscuits.
yeah, that's true. No, I mean, I don't know, but if you look at the stills between the two,
Right.
He's a little.
You want the Svelte Spider-Man so
Yeah.
you can jump around
You want a
buildings.
tall Spider-Man.
Yes,
That's
yes, a
what I
taller,
think.
skinnier
Yes.
kind of. That's like tradition.
You've become everyone you hate.
Well, that's the problem. I think, like from the beginning with this movie, is that it's not very. It's all very trying to be adultish.
Yes.
Like from the beginning, like centering it on his parents being like him and his parents being the first thing out the gate, rather than in Homecoming where it's like literally. Well, it starts with Vulture.
It's not a great idea when you're writing your Spider-Man movie to have Batman Begins on in the room you're writing it. Like it's just you want to watch that movie then turn it off.
Yeah,
because it's just.
It seems like this movie is trying to go for that, like the weight of the world. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's got a real.
There's a lot of brown in this movie.
Oh yeah.
I will say this movie is kind of nice in terms of like the grandeur of the city. We get a lot of shots of like him on top of a building that actually feels scary and large. The world feels big in a way I don't think any other Spider-Man does.
Yeah, and I don't know what, if any, they filmed in New York.
Really?
Well, I know that the Raimi movies were
sure it's
here
CGI.
quite
Yeah,
a
they
bit.
were. I mean-
yeah, I see what you're saying, though. There are better shots of like the city on the whole, which I do like.
And they removed most, if not all, the camp from the obviously those
Right.
first and the third one went obviously way too far, but the
Seems
first
like
two
it needs some.
those I kind of think it needs a little bit of slapstick, like kind of campiness.
There's a fight sequence later on where Spider-Man goes full Mr. Bean. So
That's
there is
also
there. So it is a little bit there, but not enough. So did you find your Slenderman movie?
I can't find
right.
it because it's just got some bullshit title, and I'm not just.
You know what? I'm
gonna
just gonna call it. I'm just gonna call it.
Yeah,
doesn't
This is not-
exist.
No, this thought is fucking DOA. Man. It's all right.
So we start on it's young Peter Parker, which we've not seen before. Thank God we get to see him as a
Very
child.
important.
Oh yeah,
And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
playing hide and seek with his father. I do appreciate the Mad About You that's on in the background. Anyone see that?
Yeah.
No,
like,
I missed it.
they're a Mad About You household.
Tell me why.
So
I
this
love you
this,
like I do.
this makes us a must see Tuesday, not must see Thursday. That was always like the bastardization of the must see
So
Thursday.
by the way,
Yeah, then-
Andrew, I found it in like a second.
Oh, that's great.
Always watching a Marble Hornets story, 2015 American found footage supernatural horror film starring Doug Jones as the quote unquote operator, who then just looks like Slender Man.
Got it.
That's what it was. So one, thank you. I'm not crazy, but also. The reason I wasn't going back that far was because this was something that we hadn't offered to like do a screening of literally last year.
Really?
Yeah, so that explains.
You
that.
didn't ask Mr. Jones in?
I was like, we should do this screening if Doug Jones can come, and it was like, we're not offering Doug Jones.
You know, it's a cheap idea to do. And what do you guys think about us making like Fat Man? It's like
Fat
about
Man?
a fat dude in the woods.
I mean,
He's going to be less convincing, less seductive than
You want to do it
Slender
this
Man.
weekend, or what are we getting at here? Because we can do that this weekend.
We've been training for it for a while. I think we can all play the Fat Man.
So yes, it's young Peter Parker. It's Must See Tuesday, and this is the thing. Sure, these movies, at least this one, I really don't remember what goes on in that second one, other than Jamie Foxx. But like this movie, yeah, it might be absent of that camp.
Yeah.
But what it takes away in the camp, it adds in a totally needless and never really again addressed conspiracy theory about Peter Parker's parents and what are we even doing?
It's one of those things where it's like, no, save it for the sequel. No, and then in the sequel comes like, no, save it for the next sequel. And
Yep.
guess what? You never fucking told that story. It's
Nope.
like, it's so enraging when movies drop the ball. Tell me the story you want to tell me now. You've got me today.
Yeah, what you want to tell now, tell me now.
Exactly. We're
Yeah.
telling you now.
Guess what's interesting about Bruce Wayne's parents? They're fucking dead. That's the whole thing. Nobody gives a fuck.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like this, and Andrew and I were talking before you guys got here. It's like the movie is like 2 hours and 15 minutes. The first 45 minutes can be told in 30 seconds because that's
Yes.
what we already know. Like we've
Yep.
seen that movie before.
I don't know why
Denis Leary doesn't even show up for 55 fucking minutes, and his death is pivotal at the end.
Right. And I don't know why. Like, I really wish someone would explain why they felt they had to tell this again.
I did.
At least in fucking Homecoming, you start and Uncle Ben is dead.
Yes.
You at least have that out of the way. So it's him just becoming Spider-Man, which fucking whatever.
It really is fucking crazy because now so many people complain like, oh, they're making too many Star Wars movies. Could you imagine if multiple of them, most of them, were just like, oh yeah, here's the story of Luke Skywalker again.
Exactly.
Like,
Everyone knows Spider-Man.
Every single time he has to go to the fucking there's always the scene with the Jawas where the first
Yep.
droid is gonna blow up and the second droid has to come. Like we don't need every detail shot for shot. It's crazy.
He's looking at the twin sons again.
Well, there was that one Star Wars reboot where we already started with Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru were already crispy critters, so that was nice.
That was
that-
a great one.
I like the Star Wars reboot. We finally got to the Tashi Station and we saw
all the
power
fucking
converter.
that was going on there. I think Tashi
Yep.
Station, by the way, my theory about Tashi Station is like, yeah, you're going there to check out the power converter situation.
Yeah.
That's just space prostitutes.
Really? I thought it was
Yeah.
like code for like whippets in the parking lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Space
totally.
whippets, dude? Like fucking weird canisters?
Oh, dude, Tashi Station is just the Star Wars equivalent of a Taco Bell, and you're just in their parking lot getting high.
exactly. It's just a chain restaurant. So it's like, I'm not going to have you eat that cheap do-back meat again, Luke.
I
You
get the-
stay home and have a real meal.
I get heavy duty Grease West Side Story feelings
Oh,
from
sure.
Tashi Station. Like he goes up there and there's going to be like people right in
Hey,
his face.
we're the lasers.
Yeah. little vibro blades they cut you with. Dude.
Oh no, those are the Womp Rats. That's another gang. When he says he shot Womp Rats at home, he was killing
people.
He was killing a rival gang.
Killed Johnny and Jimmy from the Womp Rats.
My T-14 back home, I used to bomb these fuckers.
And actually, what he was trying to get, power converters, was actually hair gel, because what Luke really wanted to have was the duck's ass haircut. Like, he has it normally, but he just ran out of hair gel that day. That's where he got the floppy hair.
This could have easily happened with George Lucas behind the helm. Just make it like a fucking greaser car movie.
It's not hair gel at that point. It's just dewback sweat.
Canned
dewback sweat that you just put through your hair.
You just mix some sugar in it, dude, and stir it for a bit, and bring it to a boil. That's your hair gel. That's Star Wars hair gel.
Whatever.
Most bone-chilling bit of hide and seek I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So Campbell Scott is the father. What's his name? Ray? Richard, pardon me. And he's playing hide and seek with Peter, and he does this creepy thing where it's like he's got like little shoes sticking out from behind these drapes, and then like Peter pulls the curtains, and it's a hat and a fucking broom falls over. I would have been shrieking.
And then all the doors lock it simultaneously. You're mine now, Peter.
I thought this was a ghost movie at first. Want to
play a game?
Also, Dick Parker, I hardly know her.
So he goes into his father's study. It's been burgled. He yells for his father. His father immediately starts erasing spider equations from the wall.
Yeah, got to get that spider math off the wall, dude.
And I think I was very forgiving the first time I saw that. This time, and this is the only second time I've ever seen this movie ever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's stupid.
Why would you need to doodle a spider on a chalkboard?
It's like I know that I'm talking about spiders, but this guy's a little friendly.
Oh, I'm gonna give him a couple cute little beady eyes there.
I think Rhys Ifans was like just running off his mouth on the phone. They're on a long conference call. I was like, fucking guy again. I'm gonna draw a little spider here.
Is that a tick? A flea? No. Oh, a spider. Okay.
And it's the one thing you never want to have your parents do is like essentially just like cut and run.
Yes.
Like, all right, we're packing a bag tonight. We got to get the hell out of here. We're going to drop you off. Oh, perfect for the theme of the evening. It started raining really hard.
Mm-hmm. And Embeth Davidtz is the mother.
Oh, right.
And she has like a line in this movie, maybe.
Well, save it for the sequel, dude, when she's screaming in that plane crash.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of Batman, just watching those Batman movies, tell me what Bane wears a mask. Like it's the same scene. So he drops Peter off at his uncle and aunt, Martin Sheen and Sally Field there.
So now that Richard Parker and Mrs. Parker are in this storyline now, and I do not follow Spider-Man comics. I watched the cartoon a little bit when I was a kid. That's it. So I never really understood that he had parents at any point.
Yeah,
I mean you know what I mean. That his parents were ever featured at any point.
Yeah, is this a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
A little bit.
So is Richard like Ben's little brother? Are they related that way?
I think they're brothers. I don't remember. There's a couple things. One, there is like the spy element. Richard Parker worked for the CIA, I think.
So this is canon. This
it's
dumbass
kind of,
shit is
sort of
canon. Huh?
I don't think he was a scientist. I think he was like an actual like spy.
Oh,
He was
I
like
see.
destabilizing Iran or something.
Oh, totally, dude.
That's
By
funny.
putting spiders in their water or something.
In this movie, I smelled heavy college roommates or something. This did not smell like, we know each other by blood.
Yeah, the Uncle Ben was like Dark Helmet to Lone Star kind of thing. Your brother's former roommate or whatever.
But like
Cousin.
Martin Sheen is significantly older than Campbell Scott.
Dude, man, this doesn't make sense.
Well, they're not de-aging Campbell Scott.
No.
He's like present day or 2012 Campbell Scott.
He's got a bit of a case of older parents kind of a situation.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're both intellectuals, man. They were concentrating on like dissertations and research and whatnot.
But he drops this kid off, and he drops off $0 to take care of him. They're in a beautiful brownstone. He's got fucking Oscorp money somewhere.
Yep. Oh,
and
it's
now
there.
fucking Ben Parker's got to work 3
Hold on a
shifts just to
sec,
keep this kid afloat.
This is Star Wars because they didn't give Uncle Owen any money.
No, he didn't get a red credit, dude. Yeah, you're totally right. And yeah, it's like we're gonna leave our Manhattan townhouse, and take you out to Queens and live in this,
Working
not as
class
nice
kinda-
house.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's shown to be a mechanic or something. Ben Parker is a little. He's wearing like a jumpsuit for the most part.
Right. He does say something about he had to like, but he's working like a night shift or something. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's like this Dickies work shirt or something, and I don't know what he's doing.
He's just a real, lunch pail and cup of coffee kind of guy.
He has the same job he had in Wall Street.
I wish he had the same death that he got in The Departed, which is my favorite thing in the world.
Jesus,
He gets,
that's great.
Thrown off a building and run over by a car at the
Yeah, he's
same
like, "Ah."
time somehow.
Like, any of you mugs got a light, and somebody throws him off a roof.
Dude, the slow motion, him just fucking falling.
It reminded me of in The Fresh Prince with Jazzy Jeff would get thrown out of the house.
Yeah,
you know
he
what I
gets
mean?
Jazzy Jeffed off the roof, dude. I want to hear this conversation because the way they set up the scene is like the four adults are in the kitchen, they're
Yeah.
at the table, and little Peter's like out in the other room and whatnot. I want to hear like, all right, man, listen, I promise we're going to come back for this kid. I promise you we will be coming back for this kid. It's going to be like a week tops. Don't worry about it. And yes, I'll definitely wire the money. Like, he's just making all these empty promises knowing he will later
What if
be
Martin
murdered.
Sheen was like his bookie, and he's like, "You got to leave that kid here for collateral."
Oh, yeah.
And they're like,
like
"Yeah, we'll
that.
just totally we'll skip out."
yeah.
Just call me Uncle.
Uncle Ben's hiding all the letters that fucking Campbell Scott is sending to Peter Parker.
Oh,
He just
gosh.
throws him in the incinerator.
Still owes me 25 lodge.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much like the origin story here, and then it cuts to Andrew Garfield in high school somehow.
Getting a basketball thrown to his noodle.
Right, and this Peter Parker, he skateboards.
Yeah. By the way, I say noodle because his head's so thin because it's portrayed by fucking Andrew Garfield.
You see like his day-to-day routine, and it is much like every other iteration of Peter Parker having to be in high school. He's picked on by Flash Thompson.
I got it.
Oh, what do you got?
Oh no, I mean that's what I'm saying. I totally understand.
Well, because
this.
you're looking at your cell phone right now, so I thought you were pulling up some grand
trying
piece
to-
of evidence about something.
I'm just trying to figure something out.
But yeah, you see him skateboarding. He heads to the basketball thrown against his head. There's this really weird thing where like these two kids are making out fucking hard against his locker.
Welcome to Sex High, dude.
Totally sex high. I was like, where's any school administrator? This is really inappropriate.
And
Fucking tongue kissing before science class.
And it's supposed to be like a joke. It's one of those things. There's a few of these big jokes where like physical, like they keep rolling onto another locker that he's trying to get to.
Correct. Yeah.
It's really annoying.
And it's kind of not funny. And in a movie that is almost entirely like comedy-less, like let's just get to it.
I mean, it is. This movie is more like trying to be subtly funny. Like, there's a lot of like quippy stuff around, but it's not like gags. or anything.
No overt gags
Yes,
like this,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess is what I meant. Yeah.
I don't even think what he says is that funny. It's the way Andrew Garfield speaks.
Yeah, he's like kind of a
he's got-
wise ass.
Yeah, he's got like a sing-songy way of doing all of his dialogue.
I prefer a good wiseacre to Tobey Maguire who's like, "Hey, gotcha."
There's and like this ain't your mama's Spider-Man movie. He gets the shit kicked out of him by Flash Thompson. It's like a
Right.
fucking scene from Goodfellas out of nowhere.
Oh, and
like,
he's
this is,
fucking
brutal.
pounding this guy's face. It's
I think they're
ridiculous.
trying to go realistic here because they have him being beaten, and then like a minute later, it's like this introspective, quote unquote, like indie rock music, and it's like focusing on Peter just like living his shit life.
I don't know,
This-
dude. He sees this one kid getting bullied, and he starts mouthing off to this much bigger kid. Big mistake, Peter.
Absolutely.
You keep that head down. You're just trying to make it through the day, dude.
This soundtrack though is like hardcore 2012 though, I feel. I was trying to look up. Oh yeah, so here we go. Yeah, we got like the Shins and Phantom Planet. There's a Coldplay song in this movie.
There certainly is.
That's
then-
really what seals the deal. Is like it's like a latter period Coldplay song.
and they double that up in the sequel where like Pharrell is on there. OK Go is on there.
Doof. I don't like pop music in superhero movies. I don't know.
I mean, it can be used effectively, I think.
I think the only time, honestly, I think it's really affected me in any way is when they play Ramones in Homecoming.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that thematically and
Yeah, I mean, it has to be
fits and-
specific. It has to be like, this is what we're seeing or this is what we're doing.
right, you're just playing this fucking Coldplay song.
So
like,
you're
I don't
saying
care.
like Macy Gray and Spider-Man 1 didn't really do
Oh.
it for you?
That's an element of that film that doesn't hold up. Thank you for reminding me.
I tried to sling a web and I choked.
Oh, man.
Try to catch the goblin, I stumbled.
Macy Gray would have been a great Spider-Man.
Oh, sure,
definitely.
dude. She's just drunkenly throwing webs at people.
He goes home with a black eye. His
Face beaten in.
yes, and his uncle's like, "Oh, what happened? What's the other guy look like? I'm Martin Sheen in this movie. I'm kind of working class."
Yeah,
Here-
am I gonna have to call somebody's father?
I'm so working class, I'm going to waste a giant piece of steak on you.
Dude,
Here,
you-
put it on your fucking face.
Called a fucking ice cube.
Nope, because
brother.
it's 1950, and we just have a fucking giant ice cube in the basement and 50 steaks around.
The only time I have seen that ever like realistically addressed, and I'm using realistically loosely here, is that episode of Seinfeld. It's like later period Seinfeld where Kramer takes showers for too long, so he's in the locker room and he's taking notes, and the guy punches him. Jerry gives him a steak and he puts it on, and then the end of the scene, Kramer takes the steak with him to go cook it and eat it later. And I was like, exactly.
Yes.
Well-
of course you would.
Well, Peter, the only thing your piece of shit father actually keeps sending me is a monthly Omaha Steaks package, okay? So this is the one thing we've got from your piece of shit father.
We're fucking choking on steak over here, Peter. We're choking on it.
And your uncle can't have red meat as much anymore, Peter.
He's trying to kill me. Your father's trying to kill me from afar now.
And then when they're in their basement, they find like a bag that's from Dick Parker.
Yeah.
It's Dick Parker's like work bag.
Excellent dad bag.
It's a great
Total
dad,
dad
bag.
bag, yeah.
Totally love this dad bag.
Ben Parker is like, yeah, you find any money in it, it's mine.
Yeah, just FYI, that's all mine.
They
Yo,
have,
check out for secret compartments. He's a little sneaky fuck, your father.
Ever tell you how much of a cheapskate your father was?
it's been down there forever. And no one knew it was there.
What are we
he says
talking?
something about, he's like, oh, we forgot about that.
Yeah.
or
Yeah, okay.
something like that. It's like hidden under the stairs.
And he takes it up to his room. He looks at he finds a secret compartment. Well, not really. It's just like the back. It's zippered. He finds a big folder.
Yeah, it's just a pouch.
Yeah, he finds a folder filled with spider formulas and all this shit. It's a great.
So many spider formulas.
And he Uncle Ben comes in. He's like, "Hey, everything okay, champ?" And like as he's doing it, he's got this Matt Lauer / fucking jerk off button that like he can electronically lock his door from afar. It's definitely got the pornography going.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, what a pleasure to have such a thing when you're a high school boy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Just like click. Oh, what's that?
Not for nothing. He's got fucking Emma Stone, who they're not friends. They're not. They're certainly not going out together.
Right.
She's his desktop background.
Oh my God. Later in the film when he's like, he's got you on his computer.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's enough to kill him right there.
But
I
this
mean,
guy-
have him gunned down in the school.
At the same time, maybe you should be because this guy seems like a dangerous stalker.
Yes, he does.
She doesn't even know he's alive.
Well, she knows him a little bit. Like they're like
She's
have a little.
aware of his existence.
Yes, like when the Flash and
tertiarily.
him are about to fucking go at it, and she stops them.
Right.
She clearly gives him a little wink.
His homepage is that picture of her on Facebook that she took at her friend's pool party.
Oh, yeah.
That's his first. That's it.
Yep. No,
You're
exactly
right.
right. And the picture is like some other couple of friends of Gwen Stacy's like
Yeah.
posing for the photograph. But then in the background, it's Gwen Stacy picking a frisbee up off the lawn
And he's always
in a bathing
And
suit.
she's not tagged in it. She is
Nope.
untagged herself.
Absolutely
Yep.
not.
and he's always accidentally liking it at 3 a.m.
He sits next to her at she sits next to him at lunch, and he doesn't know it. And then also he's like, "So only one pieces, huh? Can't spring for the twofers."
See, if it was that bad, yeah, I'd say he's the creep of the year. But I think he's just got a crush on her.
So he realizes that his father used to work for Oscorp. He's like, I might as well. And I guess he never asked like Uncle Ben, like, hey, what did my dad do?
Well,
Yeah,
there's a
not
photo of like Curt Connors. Is that the
Correct.
name of the lizardman? Yep. And he brings it up with Martin Sheen, and Martin Sheen's like, "Well, I wouldn't know much about that. I've got like the education of a 10-year-old boy." He says like how much smarter Peter Parker is. He's like eclipsed his education.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
he's never graduated high school then, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a funny line.
Yeah, he only has a grade school education, and he's a boomer, so that means he's got a house. He owns his own home.
He owns his own home in New York City. Thank you very much.
This house is worth like $1 million. And,
Oh,
people outside of the city would be like, "What? Wait, what?" But it's true.
Yes,
It's totally true. And in reality, if they sold it, it would be sold to somebody who would turn it into 3 different apartments.
Yep.
Without question.
that's
Also,
what they should do when fucking Ben dies. Is flip that shit.
Yep.
Move into a nice little apartment. Then you got Peter's college fund all settled.
Absolutely. Instead of living in destitution like they do.
Yeah, they could move to Jersey or to Island.
Yeah, totally.
Live in the lap of luxury.
Totally could.
So yeah, but the other thing that Uncle Ben says about Curt Connors is that he fucking ghosted the funeral and never came back. He's like, "Oh, I remember that guy, Connie." He's like, "Your dad's best friend. Haven't heard fucking shit from him lately."
But am I remembering this wrong? Because when he shows him the photograph initially, he's like Uncle Ben's like, "Mole."
Yeah.
And then later he's like, I shouldn't have lied to you. That's Dr. Curt Connors. He was actually your father's partner and best friend and definitely ghosted that funeral.
I think that did happen, yeah.
But what? I don't understand what happened to Ben Parker between saying I don't know who that guy is and then coming
I
clean.
think because there's it's all about whatever they talked about that kitchen table that's never going to be told
Sure.
to us, the audience, because this franchise failed.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, oh, the big secret that happened at Oscorp that you're never going to know about.
It's all working up to just making Norman Osborn the Green Goblin.
Yes.
That I think.
Wow, which happens in the first 25 minutes of the last fucking movie.
Exactly. But talk about this is already 2 hours and 16 minutes. You want to shave some time off? How about the first time? Who the fuck is this in the photograph? It's Dr. Curt Connors. Let's get on with it.
You could cut out, like Steve mentioned, 50 minutes of the movie, easy. The first 50 minutes, you start out with we already know who Spider-Man is.
Sure.
We know everything about this shit.
Because you bought a ticket.
Martin Sheen could be a fucking photograph. You know
Totally.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Cheaper.
then you just start out with oh fuck the lizard, and then you get that dichotomy of him just going to do this internship and not really realizing that the lizard is also his mentor.
I don't even think they say his name in Homecoming. I don't even think you get an Uncle Ben.
No, they don't.
There's one. I don't know that they say Ben because I remember thinking this. There's some line where
Aunt May's been through a lot.
Yes, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That is the whole of what they deal with, and it cuts
Yeah.
so much bullshit out of that movie.
because everyone who fucking saw Homecoming was like, "Oh, Uncle Ben got it."
Yeah.
Immediately. And if you didn't, it doesn't matter.
and I don't have to deal with the training. My God, the training.
So much training and gadget development, which we'll get to. So yeah, it's like, oh, this is Curt Connors. He works at Oscorp. So Peter goes to see, try to meet him or whatever. He winds up ruining this one kid's entire
life.
future.
Yeah.
Ricardo Guevara.
Yes, I think that's correct. So he goes to the Oscorp lobby. It's like the receptionist thinks that he's there for an internship program. She's like, without asking for an identification from this kid at all, like, oh, grab your name tag off the intern table to the left. He steals one and then gets up with the group. Gwen Stacy is the tour guide. She's also a current intern at Oscorp.
She's the head intern as a high school student?
Yes, thank you. How is this even legal? What is going on here? How is a scientist from one of the Fortune 500 companies?
Well, this was 2012, dude, so this was still a few years before we started making a stink about paying interns.
Well, not only that, but
it's a college
it's like
kid.
an underage girl that's the head intern under this known scientist.
She's doing science in this movie.
You'd think there'd be graduate students or something that might be a little more qualified.
She's opening the mail. You know what I mean? That's really what it is.
She's picking up the drugs in Queens for him. I mean, this is some shady shit.
It's for what would be the top AI guy right now, the most important scientist in New York.
I mean, to be fair, she's wearing a lab coat and giving a tour. I don't know how much access she actually has.
I still think it's too much.
Do you think it would be in the service of using a grad school student's time wisely?
Yes, because
to give a fucking tour of a facility.
I wouldn't get a high school intern for this show. Imagine if I had a fucking laboratory.
All right, when you put it that way, now I completely
What would
understand.
an
crystal clear.
intern do for this show? Out of
they'd,
curiosity.
wear a
Answer
lab
coat. Well, first of all, mandatory wearing a lab coat.
Hi, welcome to We Hate Movies.
I don't know. They could take over some of the social
Beer
needs.
fetcher.
Beer fetcher. You could give a tour of the studio. It would be like when they take a tour of the guy's office at the box factory on The Simpsons. Follow this yellow line. It would take 1.5 seconds. You could do that. Definitely answer emails pretending to be us. Boy, I would appreciate that.
You could ride the Wikipedia as we're talking about. Oh, you got that wrong. No, you got that wrong too.
Could
Yep.
moderate that Reddit, start deleting threads. That'd be good.
Eric really wants an intern now.
I want to delete the world.
It would be fucking rad, honestly, but definitely mandatory wearing a lab coat.
Yeah, you have to wear it. I might start wearing a lab coat,
And
honestly.
maybe be over 18 years old.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, too. You got to be at least 18 years old to enter this apartment. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, thanks anyway. I don't need any underage kids floating around here.
I'm gonna bump it up to a 21 right
Yeah, that's
there.
a cool
what I'm
idea.
gonna do.
You know what?
There's alcohol. There's a lack of pants.
I am wearing Daisy Dukes right now.
And
That's
it's not a criminal lack of pants.
No.
But it's there.
It's just a lack of pants brought on by general malaise.
Someone walks in here, they could read the situation wrong.
That's exactly right.
So that's where we need
21
to-
years old.
To be fair to Gwen
50-year-old
Stacy,
intern.
We're bumping it
I
up.
think 50 is good because they know what's what.
I'm starting over.
Yeah, Martin Sheen's gonna get this internship.
Then you can hear, what'd you say about Trump? What'd you say about Trump?
It's Robert De Niro from The Intern.
Oh, yes.
My God. Oh, that movie's awful.
But
Not
yes,
very good.
So she's the head intern, and Rhys Ifans. Rhys, am I doing that right?
I think it's Rhys. Yeah.
Rhys Ifans is the guy. Is Curt Connors? He shows up, and his first lines in this movie are amazing. It's just like, "Yes, I'm." He's like, "I'm a scientist, but I'm not crippled." And everyone's like, "Wait, what? Nobody? Hi, nobody said anything."
And then they're still reeling from how uncomfortable that is. And he's like, and as you can tell, I'm also definitely a southpaw.
Did anybody else hear the screams in this scene?
No.
It's Dylan Baker outside the office saying, "You stole my fucking job."
I was thinking about that, Chris, when I was watching it. I was like, how fucking furious that man must have been.
would it be that big of a deal to have him in this movie and just recast everyone else? Like, why
Yeah,
not?
why not?
How much more did fucking Rhys Ifans cost you?
It didn't take me that much to
definitely more.
figure out when Screech was on Saved by the Bell, the new class.
Hey, is this Rhys? Yeah, Dylan Baker, how's it going? Yeah, thanks. You're starting that Amazing Spider-Man tomorrow, huh? Great, that's amazing. Congratulations. I hope you get fucking diarrhea and die tomorrow, you piece of shit.
So
I
you
am
have,
outside your house right now with a gun.
so you have kids, huh? That's interesting that you have kids and a wife. I bet
kids
they
plural.
go. I bet they go outside every day, and you don't know what could happen to them.
And you know, it's weird. It's funny. Thanks again for taking my call. It's weird that your wife is wearing that red sweater right now.
I heard that's kids plural, right? What if it was just singular? All righty. Well, I'll let you go.
I left you my reel and happiness. You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, he must have been so fucking furious. 3 movies. Dude. And I guess the deal, though, is some of the story here, just from reading about what Raimi's Part 4 was going to be, there's a little bit of that here, including he was going to finally fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because they spent like $100 million on Spider-Man 4, which just never happened. You know what I mean? All the people got paid, all the scripts got
amount of money.
written. Like, it's just nuts.
But it was such a. It was dumb. I mean, I understand in the heat of the moment, but having like the Thomas Hayden Church Renaissance being in Spider-Man 3, like
It's tied to it now forever.
like why? Like that was Curt Connors' spot. God damn it!
Yep, you're totally right.
that's Curt Connors' jacket.
Stacy, I'm fucking over Curt Connors.
I'm so pissed about that because, like, the 4th one would have had Malkovich as Vulture. I would have loved that.
Really?
All right, Sam, I'll do Spider-Man 3, but you're promising me Spider-Man 4. You promise on your wife's eyes, right, Sam?
And it's not going to be that CGI garbage. It's going to be Dylan in paint.
Well, joke's on him. My wife is blind.
He ripped out her eyes for nothing.
It just feels so terrible. And also, I like Rhys Ifans fine enough.
I think he's actually pretty good in this movie. He's one of the
He
things
is good in this movie, but I will say I like Dylan Baker more.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And just because like he spent 3 years waiting, or 3 movies dealing with this, that he would have been fucking rocking it in this movie. He absolutely would have.
So it's not him. He's the famous Dr. Curt Connors has one arm, and the idea is he's going to become the Lizard because he hates not having an arm.
This is
Even though
so
it's such
stupid.
I don't know. I mean, like he's. It just he seems okay. Like, you know what I mean? You're a fucking scientist. You've conquered life.
Get over it, man. Like, listen, where we're going, none of us are having limbs.
Well, also, I mean, and I don't know, maybe it's not necessarily his area of expertise in science, but 3 words, man. How about robotics?
Sure.
Get a cool fucking android arm.
Or
That's the thing.
How about a hook?
Well, also that. But Norman Osborn is probably being like, no. You finish the thing that saves my life. Then you get your precious arm.
So
then you get your bionic arm thingamajig.
I'm sorry, what is going on with Norman Osborn in this movie? He's like in cryostasis like Walt Disney or
Yes,
something?
he's got some debilitating disease that is the goblin disease, I guess, that you see in the second one.
I think I got the goblin disease.
He does. He just has like goblinitis in that second one.
At the end of that movie, he's like, "Yes,
forgot.
my son," and he's
Right. And wait, who's
Chris
playing?
Cooper, man.
That's right.
Yeah, he started
Lord.
crying when he saw that Nazi plate.
Which I thought they had teased that in this one, but it's not.
No, it's
not.
a really bad case of we have no one to play this character yet, because when he walks into Oscorp, there's this massive screen in the lobby, and it's like Norman Osborn, and it's literally a cartoon character in silhouette.
Yeah.
It's so, like, you need to figure that out. Like, you're making a Spider-Man movie. Odds are you're going to have at least one sequel.
See, that's the thing is they were thinking they were making a trilogy, and they weren't.
Hey, is this Marc Webb? Hey, it's Dylan Baker. How's it going? Awesome. That's fantastic. First of all, Marc Webb directed Spider-Man. Pretty funny. Can I play Norman Osborn by any chance? You got anything, Peter's biology teacher?
Hello?
Son of a bitch.
I just don't get how.
I'm going to have to kill his kids.
Oh, the new Spider-Man, the executive producer. Oh, so you hired Rob Zombie to voice the amazing Spider-Man Curt Connors. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
That was in the MTV cartoon, which, by the way, is an Animation Damnation on Patreon.
That's right.
Would you like to know which one of your cars doesn't have brakes?
It's just vapor lock.
So there's there's a weird thing where Curt Connors gets like super hard when Peter Parker can answer this science question correctly, because he's like, how do you think I'm going to grow my limb back? Someone says stem cell research, and he's like, oh, that's adorable. No, try again, stupid fucking kid.
Excuse me, try something made up.
Also, we're not at our best right now because you're making us incredibly uncomfortable. Because you're talking about like how uncomfortable you are with your own disability, and it's making everyone very uncomfortable.
And so Peter is like, oh, you would cross, the genetics of some animals or some shit. And he's like, oh my God, the kid guessed it.
Yeah, you'd like do the Ninja Turtle thing where you like do like radiation with a thing.
something. He's like, there's a fish that can whatever.
You get some mutagen going around.
All right,
swirl
that's
it
what
around.
you need. So I believe, Dr. Connors, the answer is you'll be using the Secret of the Ooze.
Yes.
And then he starts flirting with Gwen Stacy, and these are the best parts of the
Flirting
movie.
hard.
Well, because the best part of this movie is the best thing this movie is going for it was that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone were fucking at the time. Like
I didn't know that.
That's the whole point of the movie is that they were actually fucking at the time.
God bless America.
They are making fuck eyes, which is something you can't pretend.
All right.
Yeah. And they have insane chemistry. Like it's not just this. I mean, the fuck eyes are there, definitely.
the fuck eyes
but
are
like they respond to each other very well in this.
Yeah, no, they're very good together. Meanwhile, while they're flirting, this poor Rodrigo Guevara, you see him down in the lobby getting hauled out by the NYPD. That kid's future's over.
Yeah, that kid's like, oh, I guess I'll just go back to my shitty apartment. That was my one chance to make it out of
He should have
here.
been the villain in the second movie.
Yes.
Oh, shit. They would have to play that one, 2-second shot from this movie.
Hey, I could play Rodrigo Guevara. Just FYI, Dylan Baker here again for Marc Webb's assistant.
I mean, We Hate Movies as a 50-year-old intern. I mean, why can't Oscorp have a 50-year-old intern?
Yeah, Suzanne, it's Dylan Baker again. I mean, we're just been talking to each other so much on this phone that I feel like we know each other. Is a janitor role still open? Because I would even take that, honestly.
I saw Dylan Baker once in Barnes and Noble.
That's awesome.
On Valentine's Day.
Allegedly.
Buying chocolates. It was a real oh fuck situation.
I got some chocolates for you, baby. Yep, bookstore chocolates.
Is he like married, or do you think there's a side piece?
I imagine he's married.
I
He's an
think he's
older
actually
man.
married to a woman. I think they might be like New York theater people.
That would make a ton of
I
sense.
think she's some sort of artist or something too.
And it could have been something for somebody.
Although,
for
I
the
don't know,
kids.
after-
Buying chocolates for myself at a bookstore.
After those
Happy
chocolates,
Valentine's Day to me.
it might have been curtains after those chocolates.
Hey, baby, I got these chocolates for you. Look, it has War and Peace on the cover. It looks, it looks like a book. It looks just like a book.
So you open this book, and it turns out there's chocolate
It's
in
a
it.
Walt Whitman sampling.
All right, that's actually pretty
Not bad.
good. Once every 10 years, you get
They're
one.
all good, dude. They're just not all for you.
35-year-old intern Steve Sadak from the Internet Ticker says that he's married to Becky Ann Baker.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
And what's her current address?
Okay, everyone got their pens out?
You're going to dox them. So, whatever. Peter sneaks off from the tour after Gwen Stacy sexily threatens that she's going to get him kicked out if he does so.
And then he goes into the spider reactor?
Dude,
what
I
is
can't
this
believe
fucking thing?
What are the odds, dude? You just accidentally walk into the spider reactor. This
And
thing is fucking weird.
He sees Ifran Khan, who's in this movie, who's like the...
He's like Norman Osborn's like number one guy,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. And again, one of the world's greatest living actors. Irrfan Khan is fucking awesome. And in this movie, he's like, yes, you will do this for Mr. Osborn. Goodbye, movie.
Well, Irfan Khan kind of ducks into the spider room real quick. He puts in the passcode. He needs to get something from the spider room, which is not a spider.
Whoop, whoop. I didn't realize it was occupied.
Forgot my keys.
Occupied. It's just all these spiders.
Here's your keys.
Look, nobody comes in here. This is the best place to get a work jerk in.
Oh, man. Yeah,
And
classic.
it's amongst all these webs. No one will notice. It's just a human web.
He ducks in, ducks out. Peter goes in because he sees his code. He's like, wow, look at all these spiders. Ouch! And it's like, great, dude.
I at least appreciate that I didn't have to see that cartoon spider chomping down.
Yeah.
Like, it gets into like his shirt collar, and then he's like, owie! And that's it.
But then that night, his neck starts coming webs. Like there's a web come.
Right.
Well, it's more of a dribble.
It's kind of great. Well, he passes. He leaves. He's feeling all fucked up from the spider. He passes out on the subway.
In the most asshole way. When I see people like this on the subway, I'm just so furious. Lying down on the bench,
Yeah.
you got your foot up, you're passed out, wasted.
Well, we've got ourselves a sick passenger here, guys. We better stop the train.
Yeah, we better take 35 minutes out of people's day to deal with this fucking loser.
Got to get off the train. I don't care what spider you were bit by, lady. I got to get to work.
It's kind of great because it's the middle of the day. He's on the Q train going downtown, middle of the day, and the only people on this subway car is this rowdy gang of drunks.
Who are in their mid-30s, and like one guy's like putting beer on his head.
Yeah, I was like, what is this, SantaCon? Who are these assholes?
This is getting towards the end of the line. We're near Coney Island at this
Yeah.
point. So
He's pulling a Steve Sadak, by the way. He's falling asleep on the train and going in the wrong direction.
That hasn't happened in many, many years.
Well, thank God, dude, because we're almost 40 years old. Yes.
oh god, I wish
Those
it-
were the days, though, man.
Well, for us hearing it, for Steve, I imagine it wasn't.
one
days.
time
This was 20 years ago. Now?
This is 25 years ago. No, it was like right out of college. It was like 23 or 24. I was living in the Bronx at the time. I got on at Union Square going uptown at like 2:00 in the morning.
So this is like downtown Manhattan, for those who
Yes.
don't know. Going uptown.
Going all the way uptown. It's like an hour trip. It's a local train. It's fucking 2:00 in the morning. I fall asleep. I wake up at 5:00 in the morning at Astor Place, which is exactly one stop further downtown. So I rode the train all the way up. It stopped. They cleared. Probably the guy did the thing with the dustpan, went all up and down.
Dusted you.
Dusted me.
I love this so much. I just love this story. I just pictured Steve sleeping on the train.
It's like actual time travel. Like I literally just lost 3 hours and a block.
Dude, maybe you were like abducted by aliens or something.
Oh, that could have
Well, I
been.
did have spider powers for a couple of weeks, but they didn't take.
Can I tell one that doesn't involve me, but it involves Chris Cabin? I don't know if you remember this because of
Probably
the state
not.
you were in.
Shit.
It's a
Here we
little
go.
tale that involves our friend Chris Cabin and friend of the show and friend in real life, our good friend Justin J. Case, been on the show multiple times. The way JJ tells this story, so he's getting up early to go for like a job interview, or he's got something where he had to be at some place at like 8:30 in the morning. So this is, you guys were living in Brooklyn at the time, you're living in Williamsburg. So JJ goes down into the subway. It's super early in the morning. He's fucking exhausted. The train, the Manhattan-bound train, so it's coming from deep in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The Manhattan-bound L train pulls into the station. And there, passed out on the bench in the subway car, is Chris Cabin. So somewhere you were riding back and forth all night between Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
I don't
he
remember
didn't
that, but
stop. He's just like, all right, goodbye, Chris.
Yeah, no, he didn't wake him up or
Yeah,
anything.
that sounds right.
I
That
love
sounds
it.
exactly
I think we've all fallen asleep on
Yeah,
the
it's-
train.
it's-
Oh, I used to do it all the time.
The problem is you're a little bit inebriated. The train is very soothing. You get a seat, you just pass out.
Yep. I'm listening to what I like to call nighttime music. So that's not helping anybody. I'm just getting swayed by the train,
So
passing out.
that's what they think. That happened to my brother once, and he lost his jacket that way. He was wearing a leather jacket, woke up at Coney Island not wearing a leather jacket.
Dude, that's what happens in Weekend at Bernie's too.
But that's about to happen to Peter Parker, but he's got spider powers.
Right.
And like he doesn't know how to control them. This is when like he rips a lady's top off
Well,
for a
this
minute.
is very weird because she's like, well, you spilled beer on me or something, because he knocks into someone else who then I think spills or whatever on her. And then to apologize, he starts patting a stranger in New York and Brooklyn on the subway on the shoulder.
Yep.
Like, tap, tap, tap. It's going to be okay. I'm
Yeah.
going to be, not only am I trying to
man.
apologize, but I'm being patronizing and I'm a piece of shit right now. And I'm touching you,
Don't
which
be
is
touching.
forbidden.
NBT, never be touching.
Never touch another person, ever.
And this is
touched
what you're
Andrew
talking about.
twice.
This is the Mr. Beaning.
Yes, because then his spider cum is all over his hands and it's sticky as fuck. So it rips her shirt off, and everyone's like, "Great, this dude is sexually assaulting this woman."
Oh no! Oh no!
And then it's crazy, like Peter tries to like web that one dude and then he gets a turkey stuck on his head. It's so wild.
It's kind of like that because at one point he grabs like the pole in the subway and he breaks it off and he's just like, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry," and he's smacking everyone in the head with it.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty.
It's totally Mr. Bean.
when does he ruin Whistler's mother?
It's in the sequel.
And he loses his teddy bear. He winds up coming home at like 4:00 in the morning. Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Sally Field, by the way, has nothing to do in this movie.
This might be a good time to explain why.
Just really quick, plugging Sally Field. She's in the movie Forrest Gump.
Oh, the film Forrest Gump.
Right? Yes, she was Mother Gumps.
She's known as Mother Gump. That is going to be our Patreon exclusive episode this month. So if you want to check that out, go to patreon.com/wehatemovies.
And we're also doing Lincoln later this.
We're not doing Lincoln, but Forrest Gump is happening. Hold on to your hat, and it's okay to like a movie, and it's going to be fine.
It's also okay not to write an email.
Yep. Now, Sally Field, yes, as Aunt May, has nothing to do in this movie. And this in from the Internet Ticker, the IMDb Tribune, the greatest source for entertainment news and fun tidbits. While a guest on the Howard Stern show in 2016, Sally Field was asked if she liked The Amazing Spider-Man. And her answer was, quote, "Not especially. It's not my kind of movie. But my friend Laura Ziskin was the producer, and we knew it would be her last film, and she was my producing partner, and she was a spectacular human. Laura Ziskin died of cancer a few years ago. When Stern asked her how much effort she put into preparing for the Aunt May role, she said, quote, "Not a great deal. It's really hard to find a three-dimensional character in it, and you work it as much as you can, but you can't put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag."
Well,
Sally Field rules.
No. It makes sense she'd be that honest after writing The Sibian.
Stern didn't ask her to ride the Sibian.
but-
The Sibian days of the Stern show are over.
But Burt Reynolds asked her to do that.
Yeah, for sure. That was his mustache's name.
Hey,
What kind of Sibian you ride?
you want to sit on this fuck saddle?
I'm just so glad that she's at her point in her career, and I mean, like, just where she's like, fuck it. I mean, and she's also Sally
Yeah.
Field. Like, she got nothing to lose because, like, so many people do, like, oh, you know, I played the Joe Chill in the Batman Begins movie, who kills Batman's parents. Yeah, I read all the comics. I spent weeks pouring it. Like, no, you fucking did
And
not.
if you did, joke's on you, buddy, because you didn't have to do that, Mr. Chill.
Because it's a comic book, you got it. You're good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe you get the role of Batman. You want to read about Batman.
I think
sure.
you're pissing off a lot of people right now, Steve.
Sure.
The dude who played Joe Chill specifically. Also, though, I just appreciate
I'm
because
sorry for what I did.
I'm sorry I made fun of you, Mr. Chill.
That was
now I'm
great.
using your voice.
The whole courtroom thing.
Oh yeah. If I could take back what I done, I would. I'm sorry for what I did.
Her pearls, they were just everywhere.
Hey Joe, Falcone says hi. Get shot. Batman Begins rules.
It
Great
does.
movie. No, but the other thing that Sally Field does not do here is the thing that you see a lot of people, like actors who get involved in comic book films. I'm looking at you, Tommy Lee Jones. This makes me think of him. Of like, why did you take this role? And she could have been like, well, my grandchildren just love the Spider-Man pictures so much. It's like, nope. My friend was dying of cancer, and I wanted to work with her. That did this piece of shit movie.
Irrfan Khan pulled that
He
shit.
did. I read that too.
did he?
He's like, I didn't want to do it. I thought it was a stupid fucking character, and it shows.
Yeah.
And it was like his 3 kids wanted him to do it.
This motherfucker have that same line for Jurassic World. Thank you very much. Was that character any
This
more
guy gets
interesting?
paid in duffel bags full of money. He's fine. Like,
Yeah.
you know, his kids don't give a shit. So he kind of has, and like he walks in. He's got like spider munchies, I guess.
Dude, that's what's hilarious, and they don't take it to the next level here
Yes,
because
do
the
it.
gag is he comes in with the munchies, and Aunt May needs to be like, "Oh, Peter, was there some of the devil's lettuce in there?
Yeah.
You have some of that wacky tobacco, any of that? Like, oh, you know, me and your Uncle Ben back in the '60s. Any kind of joke about weed because he's clearly supposed to look like he's high.
Yes.
So I don't know if they like cut a line or something.
He should be eating bugs. He should be like, I need to eat bugs. I need to go outside. He should become Renfield for like 50 minutes.
He wakes up the next morning. He still has the spider powers, and like the whole gag here is like he keeps grabbing and sticking to stuff. He like rubs his eyes. I was like, it'd be fucking cool if he ripped his own eyelids off. Like, by accident.
totally.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Ooh, Frank Miller Spider-Man. Sounds
What
good to me.
Now with 50% more terrorist-related racism. I really love the thing where he's experiencing, like, he's got super hearing, and there's this shot of, he's got, like, this rack of old skateboards, and there's a spider crawling across one, and they, like, he looks at this spider, like, all, no pun intended, bug-eyed, and then, like, they zoom in on this, like, CGI spider just, like, walking across this skateboard, and the spider, I imagined, was like, how's it going? Like, that spider should have talked.
hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah, totally.
I didn't know you like to get wet. What do you mean? You know, PCP. What?
Oh, nice.
What did you give me?
Hi there, Peter. Yeah, it's Dylan Bicker. This is how I got into your movie.
Doing the voice of the spider.
Voicing your spider friend here.
Oh, the rest of my spider role got cut? I was his sidekick.
Spidey. So whatever. Like, he goes to school. He gets into it with Flash Thompson. He beats the shit out of him, right?
Brutally getting in a fight. Well, oh no. Well, this is this. Does he beat him up right here?
No,
I
he
forget.
just
This is the
humiliates
basketball.
him, yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's right.
basketball practice. Flash Thompson throws a basketball at this girl who's making like a little banner
Yeah.
and knocks over like the paint can, and he Peter grabs the basketball and starts like palming it with the spider grip and whatnot. This all ends in a good old-fashioned 1993 Shaq attack.
Yes.
I couldn't believe I saw this in a movie in 2012.
It is exactly like almost 20 years too late. Like, it's like, what are we talking about?
I'm just glad nobody said it.
Oh, man, it would be great if it was like Blue Chips and Nick Nolte came out and recruited him.
Get over here, goddammit! Do that again! Did you take the money? Did you take the money, Peter Parker? Did you take the money? You throw it all away!
That's a movie we should probably do. I mean, that movie kind of rules, but it also kind of sucks. It's kind of great.
It's right online, but I would do it just for that.
Yeah.
Just to say that I had a reason to watch Blue Chips again.
But for younger listeners, the Shaq attacking is he's dunking and he breaks the backboard.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah.
Which was something that Shaquille O'Neal was known for. So then, like, Martin Sheen gets called, and like, this is the beginning of Martin Sheen. Like, dude, just fucking take a chill pill. Like, he's like, you embarrassed that kid in front of your whole class, right?
Humiliated.
Yeah,
and he's like,
humiliated.
yes, I did. Like,
And he's like, you feel like a big man now? Like, well, whatever, dude. This guy beat the shit out of me 2 days ago.
And he's beating up little kids. He's fucking with girls trying to make banners.
But Martin fucking Sheen from the beginning was like when he came back getting beat up by Flash the first time, he's like, so how'd you do with the other guy? I'm like, you have been doing this the whole time.
No, but here's the difference, though, Captain, because this time the school called him, and he's pissed off because now he's missing work.
Yeah.
which
he had to switch shifts.
Hell life.
right. It's a mysterious job we don't know anything about.
But he had to switch shifts, and now he's working the night shift, which means he's fucking missing wheel.
Also, he's missing wheel, but he also identifies with Flash Thompson, and he's just like, he sees himself in Flash, not Peter.
Oh, I see.
You know,
'Cause he was a
Peter,
kid- he was an idiot kid.
if I was your age, I'd beat the shit out of you too.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Wait, he gave you a noogie, huh? That's pretty cool.
You know, I didn't like it when I saw you come home with the black eye. I thought, you should really beat that guy. But I just met this Flash guy. He is built like a fireman. Have you ever seen this guy? This guy is just handsome. He looks like a deflated Jai Courtney. I wanted to kiss him right on the mouth.
You know, me and Flash Thompson got to talking outside the principal's office, Peter, and he's a pretty cool guy. We really hit it off.
Oh, you made junior varsity?
You know, Peter, I invited Flash Thompson to move into your bedroom.
You ever saw old pictures of princes? He looks exactly like an old prince. Like someone who'd rule over England. While you look,
He's going to be helping me out in the shop for a while, whatever that is. So, yes, you'll be seeing a lot of him.
So he's like, by the way, Peter, now that I had to switch shifts, you have to walk your aunt home from the subway stop or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. He's like, got to be there at 8:30 or something. He's
Take
like,
a fucking cab.
or just whatever.
Also,
well, they'll
like,
bankrupt him.
good luck getting an exact time and when a subway's pulling in.
Yes, you're right, because I think the line is like you have to meet her at the subway station at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
What is this, Amtrak?
So Spider-Man goes off to be. He's like, this is the Coldplay training sequence.
Well, because he's excited for it's a twofold excitement montage here, Steve. He's excited because he's testing out these Spider-Man powers, but also he's asked Gwen Stacy out to like hang.
Got it.
So like
Hang
they do
Brain.
little not yet, not hanging Brain just
Soon,
yet.
no.
And unfortunately, before he can hang Brain with her, she's murdered. Right? They've
been fucking.
Yeah,
That second one, they're
fucking in that
fucking.
second
That
movie?
second one, they're fucking.
Dude,
really?
They're slapping brains.
100%.
Slapping what?
Slapping brains.
Ask your mother.
Isn't that what they do in Avatar?
Aunt May about slapping brains.
Aunt May, what's slapping brains?
I wish your father was alive to tell you this. Okay, slapping brains is.
A stupid spy getting himself murdered.
So he's like doing all sorts of fucking tricks
Testing
and
it out.
traps.
I will say just really quickly, I regret my initial position on this movie the first time I saw it, but I will say one thing that stands. I appreciate the fact that a good chunk, not all, but a good chunk of the Spider-Maning scenes in this movie is wire work and not
Yes.
CGI.
Yeah, because
including right here.
Because that does stick out in a couple of those first, even those Raimi movies, which I
Yeah.
really do like. but it does turn into a cart. Like every time he's about to swing off, it's
like
very-
Superman running behind the fucking phone booth and coming out a cartoon.
Exactly. It's very cartoony.
What I miss is that he's doing all this at a construction, like an abandoned,
Sure, yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, and there's no guy saying, like, "Hey, you piece of shit, get out from my fucking chainsaw."
Excuse me, Chris Cabin, it is not the middle of nowhere, because when you see the view of Lower Manhattan, you realize he's in like the Brooklyn Navy Yards. There's no way you're fucking slinging webs in that place.
One thing I don't like is the addition of the skateboarding.
Yeah.
Skateboarding Spider-Man. So now we got the training with the skateboarding. And what is it? Is he going to be Tony Hawkman?
Well, you
Are
could
you gonna
play
be
as
Tony Spider-Man?
You could unlock. Do you remember this, Steve?
I do,
You
yeah.
could
What?
unlock Spider-Man in Tony Hawk Pro Skater Dose, I think.
It might have been two.
So this was like an Easter egg for that? Or?
Yeah.
I guess there's like a little gag because you could unlock him and you'd skate around as Spider-Man and he could like sort of do some Spider-Man
Stuff.
abilities.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. That
Okay.
game rules.
That game was part 2 specifically.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's when it got good. That's when
Interesting.
a lot of people like me and Steve started
Right.
wasting a lot of
That's
time
when
in front of
the
TVs.
plot started to flesh out a little bit.
Yeah,
Well,
big time. They really fleshed out a lot of the bios for those
Unlocked
skaters.
Sephiroth.
Yeah,
too.
and they killed off Tony Hawk's entire family after the first one.
I'm sorry for what I did to Mr. Hawk.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hawk, for what I did. I can't take it back. I love Joe Chill in that movie. He winds up going back home a little late. Aunt May had to walk, and she's totally fine with it.
And he's like, hey, you go in there and be a man and apologize to your aunt.
And this is it's
We
so
got
uncomfortable.
ravaged by savages on the way home. Marauders came by on their motor vehicles.
Yes. Yeah, it's Mad Max.
You know,
The great humongous grabbed her. Like, what the fuck's gonna happen?
you know who would have brought my darling May home is that nice Flash Thompson. You piece of shit.
Next time Aunt May needs a walk from the subway station, I know who I'm calling. Dial F for Flash.
Wait, who the fuck is this old man calling me asking me to walk his wife home?
Look, dude, I'm not. Hey, Mr. Parker, thanks again for calling. I'm not gonna fuck your wife while you watch. So I don't know what you're trying to start here. It's just not gonna.
What if
that's
you
been offered
fuck
before.
me while I watch?
Fuck me in front of a mirror.
We should also mention, though, that on top of the web slinging practice making him late, he goes to Curt Connor's office afterwards, do some science experiments.
Oh, right.
And this is where, like, Peter Parker is like, oh, this thing that you haven't been able to figure out in fucking 16 years, beep boop bop, now it's done. Now that rat grew an arm.
Because he had, like, his dad's formula that was missing.
This is like Goodwill Hunting.
Yes.
It's big time.
I don't like it.
No, not at all. And so you see here also Ben is calling him over and over again.
right.
But also it's very important. This is where we're introduced to it is called the Denali device.
Oh.
Which is a thing that Curt Connors has invented that will go up and spray something into the atmosphere, and he says, like, you could kill a village malaria outbreak with this device, but people are scared that it could fall into the wrong hands, and you're just sitting there like, telegraph it further. You're gonna use this in your evil plot at the end of the movie? Spell it out some more.
Wow, that guy had a lot of interesting information. Who would think that a security guard was that?
Driving back through Chicago on Friday.
Yeah, this is the room with this is the Oscorp room with all the stuff we don't use anymore. There's Mysterio's whole suit there. There's the Venom symbiote over there. Yeah, you
the
know.
Goblin glider back there.
Yeah, it's a real house of horrors in here. We don't keep it locked enough.
The vulture wings, I mean, we got like halfway through them and then we didn't do the other half.
So he goes back and apologize to your aunt. And he goes like, and like also clearly like because this kid got beat up, he's like asking a lot of questions about his parents. Like, ease up, Uncle Ben. Like, you know what I mean?
Throttle
like,
it back, dude. You might be shot in the gut in a few hours.
just like ground the kid and call it a day.
What's,
but he's like pushing it. You gotta apologize. I don't like who you're becoming. Blah 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 blah. And the kid storms off.
It's really awful. And here's the thing: you've got Andrew Garfield, Martin Sheen, and Sally Field. 3 people, including Andrew Garfield, that I think are really good actors. They're very strong. And when you have scenes like this in this movie, like, because what happens is, like, Aunt May is like, no, Ben, he doesn't have to apologize. He's like, shut your fucking mouth! and it's like this whole domestic thing. And I got total douche chills right here because it reminded me of like, you ever over at a friend's house and their parents argue in front of you?
Yeah.
And you just want to go home immediately?
Or you ever go to your own house and your parents are arguing with you?
No, that one.
That I was used to, but it was a very specific kind of awkward when it was like I remember one time I was sleeping over at a friend's house and we were driving home from dinner and like this kid's dad like totally almost hit this jogger like who was running at night. It was like really scary, right?
Yeah.
And then it got into this whole thing because the wife was like, "You didn't see that guy," and he's like, "Yes, I did. God damn it, you screamed for nothing." And like the whole way home,
Yeah.
after like we're sitting in like just a few feet away in the television room, like watching Sports Center, and it's just like up in the back, two people may or may not be getting divorced over this. It was so, but I got that same feeling of like, oh god, their parents are fighting.
I remember there was a fight between two parents, and we were like going to the movies or something, and they were arguing over the price of a movie ticket.
Oh, what?
They were like, "No, it's this much nowadays." No.
God.
Well, let's just wait till we get to the box office.
I interrupt.
Oh no, oh, dude!
I was
what?
like, yeah, I was just like, oh, I was at the movies the other day. It's like it's $8 for the ticket, and then they both look at me. Silence. Turn back to each other and start fighting again like I never said anything.
I don't know what that kid was talking about.
Oh my god! Wait, but you were correct though.
Of course, I was correct. Come on.
So he storms out.
I also think in this scene and some of the other stuff, like Andrew Garfield could do less. Like he's doing a lot, and it's like not this movie kind of a thing. It's like
Hey,
a
man,
heavy
please
performance.
remember you're in a comic book movie right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're in the fucking fourth Spider-Man movie. I know we're not putting the 4 on there. You're in the fourth Spider-Man movie. So yeah, he storms off. And he's not wrestling. So this is like the difference. This is what you bought your ticket for, to see how Uncle Ben is gonna get fucking Final Destination.
I just can't believe though that there is nothing addressed when he fucking slams that door and the spider strength shatters the glass. No one says a word.
Well,
if that was my father, it'd be like, you now you get back here. My dad's voice would lower like 8 octaves. Like, now you get back. Go in your room or die.
That's when he puts on his Darth Vader mask.
Absolutely, yeah.
Only for the really serious ones.
He only took that out on special occasions.
And Uncle Ben starts following him. Peter goes to a bodega. He wants to get a chocolate milk.
What are you doing, you stupid baby?
Get a soda.
I just yelled at my sort of parents, and now I want a chocolate milk.
What is he, George McFly?
Series Lou milk chocolate.
And he's 2 cents short, and the guy's giving him a bunch of shit, and he's like, "Here, I'll take the 2 pennies." And he's like, "Oh, we got a store policy where you can't take a penny unless you spend $10.
Fuck you, buddy. It's a New York City bodega. That shit is the Wild West. He'll take as many pennies as he pleases.
Well, I guess that was just his 2 cents.
So he struck.
Oh, Eric. Oh, Eric, no.
Chris Kevin's quiet disgust over that
I
terrible
think
like
it's
joke.
despair, actually.
He likes it. He likes it, though. He won't say it, but he likes it.
Yeah.
He started to leave the bodega. He's like, "Oh, whatever, man." He starts leaving. Some guy holds him up. You know what I mean? Like,
This is a classic cash grab, though. I was actually pretty pleased with the the fast thinking of this dude. Because he purposely shoves a bunch of shit off the counter. And when the dude bends down to pick it up, he grabs the cash out of the drawer.
And then he's a pretty cool guy. And then he throws a chocolate milk to Peter. And he's like, "Hey, man, thanks." You know what I mean? Like, we're all in this together.
Great.
We're just all people, man. Take a penny, leave a
Fucking
penny.
Robin Hood shows up.
Yeah.
This guy's great.
The hero, he's kind of great. And he leaves. And, like, the guy is like, "Hey, stop that guy. Stop that guy. Hey, kid, you got to help me stop it." He's like, "No, I'm not going to charge an armed assailant."
Child.
Exactly. Like, I never understand in the wrestling scenario. I don't understand it here why fucking children have to go off into the street and become vigilantes all of a sudden.
It makes no sense for 2 reasons. One, don't yell at this kid to help you. But also, listen, bodegas get robbed all the time in New York City. You know what that bodega proprietor is not doing? Running out into the middle of the street chasing the guy.
Because he doesn't get shot in the head. That's you leave these people alone.
Yep.
And that's what fucking Uncle Ben needs to learn.
Oh, this guy's a fucking asshole in this entire scenario. What a piece of shit.
So
Uncle Ben?
Yeah.
The way it works is the guy is kind of running off. He's got a gun. and he trips, and the gun falls out of his hands right in front of Uncle Ben. And Uncle Ben's like, "Well, I'm gonna wrestle this guy for this gun." And it's like
why? First of all, why? You're walking down the street. Sure, you might think you just committed a crime, but who cares?
he stole $71.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
He stole like a candy bar, and this dude's gonna fucking risk life over it.
Not worth it, friends.
and that this poor awesome criminal guy, now he has to kill Uncle Ben. And it's not, he didn't want to do that when he woke up this morning.
No,
This
he-
nosy old fuck
Yeah,
getting involved.
He didn't want to do that at all. This guy is, in fact, maybe the hero of the film.
So yeah, Uncle Ben's shot in the gut. He goes down.
I think it's because Uncle Ben like did a weird move grabbing this gun. I don't even think this dude meant to like pull the trigger.
Also, though, like,
maybe
don't-
he's trying to do suicide by burglar.
I think so. He's just like, I don't want to deal with walking Sally Field home another night.
he's pissed off that he missed the wheel, dude.
He had the
Suicide
wheel.
by surprise.
I think he did mean to kill himself. Though.
Speaking of no one's
He's looking for trouble every night. He's just walking the streets.
I mean, I did find it pretty moving when like Andrew Garfield like kneels over him and Martin Sheen saying all things like, make sure Flash is at my funeral. It's really important. Make sure he's in a really nice suit.
I want him to be my pallbearer, my only pallbearer. I want to be held in those tree trunk arms once in my life.
Flash Thompson will give my eulogy.
May's gonna fight for it, but make sure it's flat.
I've left Flash the house. Good night.
You will pay rent to him
In cash. So he eats shit, thankfully without saying a word.
No, yeah, he's
That
dead.
wasn't too bad.
He also, at some point, kind of does great power. With great power comes great responsibility, but he kind of like garbles the words a little bit. So we're like, do it. This ain't your mama's Spider-Man.
And it's in a voicemail that we have to hear
Oh, right.
no less than 3 times in this movie.
So he's dead, and Andrew Garfield's very upset. And you know what? So he's like, I'm going to become a vigilante,
Right.
And I'm going to find who killed Uncle Ben. The guy who killed him, by the way, looks like fucking Chad Kroger from
does.
Nickelback.
Oh,
he has this
he
long
does.
blonde hair, and
It's
apparently,
if it's Chad Kroger, use that shampoo that straightens your hair out. Get rid of those fucking weird poodle curls that guy has.
And Spider-Man picks up the rest of the members of Nickelback in this fucking montage of him trying to find this motherfucker.
Eric, you would have been picked up by Spider-Man. He's looking for fucking tall blonde guys. You would go right
You can
down.
fucking take me, man. Fling your webs on me.
And the move is, I guess he gets a detail from the cop at the scene.
Yeah.
This guy's got a little tattoo of a star on his left wrist. So with every guy that Peter Parker shoves up against a wall like a school principal, he's checking to see if
Could
there's
have not been a tattoo. He could have just gone to a nightclub the night before, and he just got that was his
Yeah.
re-entry pass.
I didn't wash my hands so I could get back into the reggae lounge.
Isn't like a tattoo of a star? Maybe it's a moon. Is how in Taken they identify Marco from Tripolia.
Oh,
Does he have any tattoos you can see?
Yeah, collected in distinctive markings.
So he's going around hunting like in a Ramones shirt, trying
Yeah.
to find this dude.
he accidentally falls through, and now we get the sort of wrestling nod.
And I couldn't believe it. Like, you want to talk about a movie legitimately representing New York fucking city. Here we go. Finally, a film having the guts to represent the large amount of abandoned fucking luchador wrestling arenas that are just hidden throughout the city.
Absolutely.
He falls through the roof of this building into this abandoned luchador ring. And it's like, it's 2012 New York City. This would not be left like this. That's a fucking condo that no one can afford right now.
Or a wedding venue or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The Grand Prospect Hall, where your dreams come true.
I love that commercial.
Good commercial. And whatever. So he realized he should have a mask, so he designs a Spider-Man mask. And
This just leads into a montage, like a gadget montage.
Yes.
Which
he
does that first Raimi movie have a gadget montage?
Well, no, because he doesn't have any gadgets.
Oh, right. He's got the weird fucking wrist vaginas.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that what they have here? Is
No,
he
no,
actually make? But he's
No, he
coming
made
out of
a-
his neck though.
That's just a weird, like, it's
Oh,
the
that's
remnants
just
from the
back
bite
cum?
or whatever.
No, dude, he's fucking coming shit out of
That's
his
neck
body.
cum. That's not the.
So he makes a thing that takes all of his neck cum into his.
I mean, no, I think it's just it's a
finger.
thing where he makes synthetic webs.
Yeah, we see him testing that out at one point.
but he gets them from Oscorp somehow because he's like reading about it on their website.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of him like watching YouTube videos in this part of the. I don't know what's going on here. Again, 2 hours and 16 minutes, man.
It's way too much.
You don't need it.
I know what Spider-Man does.
So at night he's going around, he's beating these people up because he's heroic, right? You know what's actually pretty heroic is watching a movie with your newly widowed elderly aunt that raised you like a son.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like maybe spend some time with that lady for even a minute.
What movie?
Whatever she likes, lady's choice.
Steel Magnolias, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Snuff.
I was naming films that Sally Field
Soap Dish, possibly.
Soap Dish sounds like a good one.
Oh,
She probably likes.
Do you think Sally Field killed that girl?
I think so. I think she was the knife man in that 8mm movie.
And
Machine! Machine!
Yeah, here I come. Oh, Nicolas Cage, you don't know what you've gotten into.
Sorry, I'm late. Here, machine is here. We can roll. Roll 'em, boys.
And Sally Field as Machine.
Oh, awesome.
Better movie.
like me. You really like me.
No, I'm gonna cut your throat. Yeah.
No, I didn't put any effort into Amazing Spider-Man, but in 8mm, I was going for the fences.
I gained 50 pounds.
of pure muscle.
So he
a
has.
jacked Sally Field. Just imagine it.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I
you
bench pressed
not?
a Buick.
Could you not? That's my fetish.
So he has this one run in where he's got this one suspect who he thinks is this guy, and he webs him to a wall, and then like this cop on a motorcycle shows up, and Spider-Man's giving this officer guff.
Sure.
And then like the rest of the like it feels like almost the rest of the police force show up right here. A lot of cop cars swarm this thing. Peter Parker has like a little bit of a hard time getting out of here.
And there's a YouTube video at this point, possibly.
It's like now like word is getting around New York City. There's a vigilante, blah blah blah. Is this where you see Denis Leary gives a press conference at one point?
Welcome to the movie,
Yeah.
fucking like fourth build Denis Leary.
It's very weird. It's
As
like
Captain
53 minutes.
George Stacy.
This
Right.
movie is so tedious.
Yep.
I cannot believe it.
Well, when he escapes the cops right here, though, there's another. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I was complaining about it on our Forrest Gump episode, and it fucking happens here too. He makes another obnoxious Midnight Cowboy reference.
Oh.
Because he's trying to swing away,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
cops like kind of get him, and he gets like fucked up, and he sort of like bumps into a couple of cabs or something, and he does the old "I'm swinging here, I'm swinging here," and dude, my eyes rolled back so far I fell over.
Let him do the rest of the shit Rizzo does in that movie. Have him go to Andy Warhol's fucking party. Let him do all that shit.
Have him die at the end.
And then you can say this. Just stop doing. I'm swinging here. I'm swinging here.
Yeah, please someone reference another scene from that movie, maybe.
Like, watch that movie.
Yeah, or don't.
Or
I mean,
watch
Seinfeld
any
did it okay.
other New York movie.
Yeah.
You know, like have Spider-Man say, sometimes I wash off the blood, sometimes I wash off the cum.
Or, he's in an establishment and people won't leave, and he goes, "Now you can't leave." You know, these are New York movies.
Taking
Absolutely.
of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Oh, where's my my hot dog sandwich?
that's what it is, Cabin. Have Spider-Man yell, "Lick my bunghole, motherfucker."
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Do spiders have bungholes? Or
Yes,
is it like a
they
weird,
have to.
but they got that big butt, right? he should grow a big butt.
Oh
in
my God,
this.
that'd be amazing.
The
if he
big
just-
spider's ass.
Yeah.
I'm into that idea.
'Cause
He's
then
just
it would-
plump ass.
It would flesh him out.
Wow,
all of-
plump.
He's so yeah. By the way, nice with plump, but he's so scrawny. This guy.
Well, it's like
he
that
needs
scene-
a plump butt.
It's like in that scene in the first one, like where he's muscular and all the girls are like, "Whoa, what happened to Peter?" It's like,
Yeah.
well, Peter's ass got juicy. What happened there?
Look at that fucking juicy
Take a
caboose.
fucking huge bite out of that shit. Good lord.
Right? Like they're working it into their sex now. The
That's like a perfect peach.
Peter Parker, more like Peter Snacker.
Yeah, you could smash a can with that ass.
So he gets an invite to dinner at the Stacy residence.
Sure.
And this is a weird thing because, and Steve, I don't know, and I know you're not a super Spider-Man guy. We all know you're more of a DC guy. Is it ever told what Mrs. Stacy does for a living?
No.
Because
Yeah.
Mr. Stacy
Yeah.
is just a police captain, which is a prestigious role, profession to
sure.
have, right? But they have a gorgeous apartment on some part of Central Park.
It's nuts.
What are we fucking
And they
doing?
go to the same school. I guess I don't know.
I think it's a magnet kind of school wherein like
Because it's like Midtown
the
Science.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like a specific high school that you could test into. Or,
But yeah, so she's like, a rich cop's daughter.
right, which is obviously means he's on the take.
He's got to
For
be.
sure.
Yeah.
The kingpins get
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Dennis Leary.
Captain George Stacy.
That would be great, though, dude. If he just had like a one-off line where he was Dennis Leary's like, "All right, you know what? I got to leave dinner early. I got to go take a meeting down in Hell's Kitchen."
Yeah.
Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen. Gold D'Onofrio.
He's so good in that, but it's so funny.
So yeah, they're all eating their own branzinos that they got.
Rich boy over here.
Lord. Anybody notice the one kid, the oldest son right here?
No.
He was in that horrible Vacation reboot / sequel, and now he's the dude
Booksmart.
in Booksmart. Funny fucking kid, I will say. He's grown up to be a very funny comedic actor.
I think he's on the Santa Clarita diet, too.
He is, yes.
Oh, I was on the Santa Clarita diet.
Oh, so was I.
Didn't take.
How did we not know?
Did not take.
It really-
Oh, you were.
yeah.
Oh, damn it. I was making a joke about cameos. You were making a joke about being on a literal diet. Fuck, that whole thing just
Yeah, the
crashed.
diet didn't work because you got a plump ass.
I got a little bit of a thick bottom. I'm not afraid of it.
It's like fucking spider ass over here.
Was Steve Pip a radioactive spider or what?
Can we get that to?
certainly hope so.
Do we have enough pull to? Let's replace the word booty and stuff like that. It's so tired.
Yeah.
Are
like
people still saying booty?
I
Somebody
think
must be
so,
saying booty.
dude. Yeah, dude.
But it's
fucking-
not trending or anything. You're trying to get web ass trending.
No, like like do Spidey instead of booty. Like they got a Spidey ass.
Oh, all right.
right?
well, is it just Spidey or is it Spidey ass?
It's choose your own adventure.
I think he's got a good Spidey kind of work.
Yeah, that almost
Yeah, it's got a
works.
good- That dude's got a good Spidey.
People aren't just going around saying booty ass.
Maybe I am.
So we have the right around here. The dinner gets interrupted because it's the first reveal of the lizard.
Yes.
Who's attacking a bunch of cars on the Williamsburg Bridge. While this dinner is happening, it's cross-cutting between like Curt Connors injects himself with the serum because Irrfan
yes.
Khan is like, you have to immediately go into trials, and he says no, and Irrfan Khan's like,
It's
all right,
hilarious.
that's cool. I'm gonna take some of this fucking serum down to the VA and give it to a couple of
Yeah,
those
he's
guys.
gonna say, I'm gonna just tell them that it's a fucking flu shot. And
Yep.
I'm gonna infect a ton of people with this
Yep.
experimental
With
drug.
monster medicine. What are you talking about? Like,
It's a commentary on how we treat veterans in the United States right now.
I totally agree, but you need to bring these veterans to a secondary location. So if they turn into monsters,
True.
it's like not coming back to you.
We call those staging areas. It needs to be a place that looks like the VA, right? You give them some sleeping serum, you take them out of the real hospital, put them into the staging area. They wake up like Captain America. Dude.
Yeah,
They
this
don't know
this
what's
sounds
going
like a Mission Impossible thing you've got going
on.
on there.
Irrfan Khan's wearing a fake mask. Absolutely.
I don't know about Bebop, but I think Rocksteady might have served.
Yeah, I think
wearing
Rocksteady,
camo.
Rocksteady served our country.
Yeah.
Thank you
so-
for your service, Rocksteady.
He's also
Bebop was shooting up junk downtown.
he mutates into a monster just like Curt Connors
Yes.
does,
Yeah.
the Lizardman.
Yep.
And what's great about this is when he gets his fucking the Lizardman hand is like it's coming out and it's like looks human at first for a little while before I guess he changes and it's all slimy and weird and you just know he's fucking pulling pud with that thing.
Oh, absolutely, dude. It's like the stranger.
It's the
Exactly.
strangest stranger.
It's
dude.
already pre-lubed.
Yeah, you don't have to think about that.
It's all it's all goopy and he's just fucking going to
You
town.
get a
with
real
his-
science fiction jerk going.
Yeah, because it's like he hasn't jerked off with his left hand or his right hand
Yeah.
since God knows when. When did he lose his?
Forever.
Yeah.
We never know the circumstances.
Vietnam.
I do not believe.
No, he was on vacation in Vietnam. It was
Yeah.
a boating accident.
He was fighting Rambo, who came back to free all those veterans that were trapped there, and Rambo cut his hand off.
And
Go ahead.
No, you-
I was just gonna say, while this dinner party is broken up, Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker are on the roof of this magnificent fucking Central Park West apartment.
Yeah.
And they're making out hard.
Yeah.
Super sexy.
Sure, dude.
Right?
Good kissing.
He's taking
Mrs.
his
Stacy.
Spidey out.
Mrs. Stacy interrupts the fucking
butt
tongue
out?
kissing. What?
He's about to take his Spidey out.
Yeah, so he's going to take his ass
they're
out?
about to
Present to
fucking-
her his bottom.
About to flap brains over here.
It's in this scene.
When this is over, not now. I certainly don't want to know now.
Yeah.
Explain to me what slapping brains is. I really want to figure
Good.
it out.
It'll give him the
so,
rest of the episode to make up an answer.
Also, explain to me what you think sex is.
I can tell you right now. You got two. Okay, so you got your
You got your Spidey in your brain.
men's genitalia is kind of nasty, and and then the ladies is no prize either. And then they smash them, they flap them together.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And then maybe sometimes you do some Spidey stuff, and then in the end, a baby happens.
We are going to remake Back to School with Eric Siska and have him go back and learn biology again.
Back to the family life program in the 6th grade.
I know biology, dude.
Anyway, they're making out hard, and then Mrs. Stacy's like, hey, this is uncomfortable. It's here that he has revealed to her that he is indeed Spider-Man. And so they're making out or whatever. And then he jumps off the roof to go to the Williamsburg Bridge. And she's in the door. And this is the greatest Emma Stone line of the movie. And her delivery is, I think she's very funny.
Yeah.
And she has a great delivery of this. She just goes like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Like it's such it's the only legitimate laugh I got in this movie of any of the things
She's
you're
really
supposed to
great.
be laughing
She's
at.
really great.
So yeah, the lizard is on the bridge. He's going after Irrfan Khan.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in his brain still is like, please don't harm those veterans.
But I also think he wants to kill him anyway. Like he's kind
Well,
of an evil
of course there's
monster.
bloodlust.
Also,
Steve.
Irfan Khan said he was going to get Dylan Baker in here to do it anyway. He's ready to get rid of him.
Hey, Marc Webb. Yeah, Dylan Baker again, buddy. Just calling. Got my hands on a copy of the script here. Turns out there's a scene where Irfan Khan's going to be sitting in a car. If he's in the back seat, someone's got to be driving. Call me back.
Wait. Oh, God. Mark, did you really cast C. Thomas Howell? And you didn't call me. That's fucking great.
Yeah, that's going to burn his ass, dude.
Yeah, so whatever. It's this big lizard. It's almost lizard fight. You kind of start to see the lizard looks like a Goomba from the Mario Brothers movie.
100%. Why does he have this round, bald head?
I don't get it.
You got to give him spikes, right?
One thing I do like is that he can crawl on the ceiling and stuff, and that's
Yeah.
kind of neat.
Yeah. No, it's all fine except for the fact that he looks like a Goomba.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
should
like,
be dancing in an elevator.
Give him like a fin or something.
yeah,
sharp.
a fin would be
exactly.
fun. Like a
Yeah.
nice dorsal
or
fin.
a horn. How about a nice
Oh,
horn?
he's fucking horny as shit, dude.
Sure.
I know
Since
they
that-
want to make. I know they want to make it their own thing here, but really, just make him look like he looks like in the fucking comic. That was like an interesting look.
Get me purple pants.
Purple
Get
pants.
Me purple fucking
Purple
pants.
pants. He's fucking horny when he sees that Spidey come out.
It happens a couple times. He has like the lab coat on, but it gets torn off, and I'm like, that's not doing it for me.
It's
No,
a
no.
hulked out lab coat, and I'm sorry, that thing would not be hanging on like that.
No, it should just be a big lab coat that he's in, and it's fun.
Yep.
So he just also buys a big lab coat for when he's
Yeah.
a lizard.
Yeah, he takes off his regular lab coat, ejects himself, and then puts the bigger lab coat on. Whilst lizard.
So he's like a lizard, but he's like modest.
Yeah,
He's a professional. This man has a doctorate. So there's a big fight on the bridge. He's like hucking cars off this bridge, and Spider-Man's like hanging him up with the web. He sort of like fights it. We get a little bit of a fight here, and then the lizard sort of runs off.
Yeah.
Irrfan Khan is fine.
Yeah, but he's
but also
got-
not in the rest of the movie.
exactly. Like, is he dead? Is he not? I guess he's fine.
Yeah. I guess save it for the sequel. That mysterious sequel.
They cut him out because he was supposed to be Goblin, and
Yes.
he was supposed to get his arm ripped off or something.
no, what are you saying?
There was. It's on the IMDb Tribune. There was something where there were scenes of him where he had to pretend like he didn't have an arm, essentially.
Oh man.
And it was something he was going to be Proto Goblin was the idea, but then they
Proto Goblin.
but they
Is that
destroyed-
canon?
Yeah, I think there's probably a proto. There's always a proto goblin.
I think they just went with Lizard because they're like, fuck it,
Well, finally somebody had the good grace of maybe we've seen enough of the Green Goblin. Maybe,
Yeah.
just maybe,
Just maybe.
that's not the best character that ever existed, and it doesn't need to be in every movie.
So yeah, then it's just there's a little kid stuck in a car, kind of like most of the Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah.
And C. Thomas Howell, of all people, is the father screaming after this kid.
Pony Boy himself.
Spider-Man gets down there because this motherfucker ain't staying gold up there, man. He's a coward. He's not saving his own son.
And he takes his mask off, gives it to the kid. Like, it's like this thing. It's like, beautiful scene. It's like, you have the Spider-Man power now. You
Right.
climb to me.
Yep.
No, him to me.
And this is for, like, the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're taking this mask off in public, that's the end of the movie, buddy.
This is like, we're almost like 90 minutes into this movie, and I thought, I was like, oh, well, it's wrapping up. Pause it. Fucking like hour left.
Yeah, there's so
Outrageous.
much. Because,
Fuck
again,
this.
we're in the second of the two movies. Because the first movie was the origin story. Now it's
Yeah.
the Lizard Show.
Yep. So he does save this kid from this flaming wreckage.
And like, C. Thomas Howell's like, oh man, my son, I owe you one, Spider-Man. Maybe I'm gonna stop this movie dead later. I'll see you later.
Hey, Spider-Man, anytime you need me to pump the brakes on this story, you just give a holler. But it's
You want this movie to really eat shit for like 3 minutes? This is my beeper number. You beat me. You beat me.
Yeah, and he's doing he's like, my son, and like Spider-Man's like bumming out about that clearly. So that's like that whole thing. There's also around here, when things start lizarding out, you notice this? It's a fucking DC Universe-esque guitar score.
Oh yeah, man.
It's not as prevalent as like, but it's there. Someone's rocking out on this score.
It's not as bad as the Electro Spider-Man, what you do to me.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so never mind. I retract the complaint.
What the hell is that from?
That's from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, right.
When like
Previous
there's
episode.
like it's like he's talking through his own score.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's really bad.
So I guess around now, Denis Leary's like, we're going to ban Spider-Man. I want Spider-Man.
There's a warrant
brought
out
in.
for his arrest. Yeah.
Denis Leary has my favorite line in this, and it's just this throwaway thing.
I think I know what you're saying.
Where he's on the phone. He's like, well, tell the mayor, no, there isn't a dinosaur roaming New York City. And I'm like, man, I would love to make that phone call. Mayor, actually, there is a dinosaur. He's around the Sephora at Columbus
And then
Circle.
Peter Parker comes to him and says, like, yo, this is like Curt Connors. He's like, Curt Connors, the man that wrote my daughter's college admission letter.
Letter
It
of
made me
recommendation.
cry.
That Curt- you think I'm the mayor of Tokyo? Which he says.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a little Denis Leary special. Like,
It
oh,
is a
just
little.
punch up this script here.
What does
a little
that
bit.
mean, though?
I think
just-
it's like a Godzilla reference.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you're
yeah.
saying a radioactive guy turned into a
yeah, you're
lizard.
right.
Edmund.
And he
see what you
double
got
taps it. He
says it twice.
me
He
just
says
see
that, and then he's like,
Good script here. Let me just punch it up here. Leary.
Right? He doesn't
Let me
say
tell you
it-
about Spider-Man.
the
Okay?
denizens of Tokyo.
Yes, he's like, well, go save the denizens of Tokyo.
Let me tell you about Spider-Man, okay? Spider-Man will crawl on all the walls. Oh, man, the fucking Denis Leary shit.
Oh, wait,
that he's-
wait. Let me see what Bill wrote about this.
Let me get my Bill Hicks notes.
I was obsessed with No Cure for Cancer.
Oh,
I
of
must
course.
have seen No Cure for Cancer 30 times.
That and Lock and Load. I
Lock
think
and
I
Load
think I saw
also.
them both pretty often.
Yeah, I was. I mean,
Well,
I still.
you were an asshole.
Oli, 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 o. Absolutely, dude. And I'm still like kind of a Leary head.
I like him when he pops up and stuff sometimes. I'm not watching fucking goddamn Animal Kingdom.
Absolutely not.
Which I find out hasn't been
What's
canceled
that?
each and every NBA Finals.
So Animal Kingdom is like an American television adaptation of the Australian film.
You got some Spidey ass in that
Nope,
shit?
it's TNT. You got some what's her face is in it.
Ellen Barkin.
You got some Ellen Barkin ass in that movie.
Oh, really?
The movie is what got Ben Mendelsohn a lot of attention. is
Yes.
what he
Melissa
first got.
Leo's in that too.
Melissa Leo.
No. What's her name?
Oh, no.
Jackie.
Jackie.
Earl Haley.
Jackie Earl Haley in a dress. No, not Jackie Harvey. That'd be amazing though.
That would actually be pretty great. I'm gonna look it up.
Jackie Kennedy Onassis.
No.
She's also Australian.
Yes.
She was in
Jackie Hugo Weaving.
It might be. No.
She was in
Weaver. It's
Jackie Weaver.
Weaver.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Yeah. She was the mom in the Steve McQueen movie.
Yeah,
She was
Widows.
the mom.
Elizabeth
the mom in Steve McQueen's
Elizabeth Debicki's mom in Widows.
Right.
Fantastic.
Oh, Steven, when I was in Widows. Oh, no, I wasn't.
No, he's Steven. That's David.
David.
But he's talking in the mirror.
Dude, Tobo acting in a scene with Tobo.
I would love it.
Sign me up, dude. 3-hour cut.
Like a Stephen Tobolowsky clone movie.
Oh, shit.
It is not me. It is my clone. He's in my house eating my birthday cake.
Shoot him. He's the one.
Can you imagine?
I would love it.
Hey, Steve Tobolowsky. Nice to see you. Dylan Baker. Hi, yeah. I hear you're making a clone movie. Sounds like you could use a one-armed scientist in that clone.
You know, if I shave my head a bit, I look like you.
Yeah, heard you need a clone.
He was the man. Yeah, hi, it's me. Hi, I'm Stephen Tobolowsky. Well, I can do that better. I'm a Stephen Tobolowsky, right? That's it, right?
Dylan,
All right, I'll go.
Dylan, could you get out of the office, please?
Oh, Dylan, you are fantastic.
So there's a bunch of fucking like sewer shit. The lizard's got his hideout down there. There's a whole other fucking lab. Spider-Man sets a trap to like photograph him for some reason. It's weird that we're getting photography here because J. Jonah Jameson does not exist in this
Yes.
The
world.
whole journalism thing seems pretty much dropped.
It's just like he's kind of a shutterbug, we're told at the beginning of the movie, but like why is he getting photographic evidence? To prove to Dennis Leary, I
to
guess?
jerk off over it.
Oh, some spank material for later. I got it.
Well, it's kind of funny that both these movies kind of split the difference because the Peter Parker thing kind of doesn't make sense. It's like, yeah, I'm as the comic book character is like, yeah, I'm a genius level scientist that can make all sorts of amazing webs and all sorts of shit. I can invent my own technology, but I prefer to be a marginally employed photographer for a man that hates my guts.
Hey man, do what you love.
So the Raimi movies, like, we'll take the photographer thing and it's like,
Right.
oh cool, we'll just take the scientist thing. Like, and neither the twain shall meet.
Yeah, you're totally. That's right. I never really thought about that, but like, yes, in those Raimi movies, like he's very smart.
Yeah.
but he's not a scientist.
No, and he's not as smart as he is in this movie specifically.
Yeah, you're
And
totally
in
right.
This, he's just setting up the camera so that he could like say "choke me, daddy" to the lizard when it goes off.
But so the lizard finds the camera after a little sewer, fight here. And on the back with this fucking label maker, property of Peter Parker.
Idiot.
It's a fucking Simpsons. It's a literal Simpsons gag.
It is. And you know what, Peter Parker? You are living in the 5 boroughs, man. Anybody finds that camera and sees that, they are slowly peeling it off.
That stinks of Uncle Ben did that as a nice thing.
Oh, right.
And then he was too ashamed after the death to like actually peel it off.
Right.
So it's like Peter Parker. By the way, what is with the lizards, the little lizards that are all over the New York City subway?
I saw that. It's like his babies.
I don't know. Is that what it's supposed to be, or we just pretend?
It is a lot like fucking Penguin and Batman Returns.
I
and
guess.
if
Right,
you
but
were
at least there was a fucking zoo.
yeah, or there was like a relationship between him and the penguins.
Are we pretending that that's happening? And I've never seen a lizard in New York City.
So
Absolutely
what
not.
It should be sewer alligators should be doing all
Yeah,
this.
that would be
gators,
fucking cool.
dude.
Yeah,
We
like
got
just a
them.
gator walking like just standing up,
Hello.
doing his bidding.
What do
I
you
was-
need from me, my master?
I was misremembering the like big scheme of his in
Yes.
the movie, and I was like, oh, he's planting those around Manhattan, so when this gas goes off, there's going to be lizard monsters.
No.
But it's the gas turns people like him into lizards.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They like smell their own, and he's like the biggest one, so he's like the king lizard.
I guess.
Sure. So whatever.
It's like that Australian band, King Gizzard and the Lizard People. Or what's that
Lizard
band?
Wizard, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're good.
They're pretty good. I
Good
can
band.
never remember their name though.
He winds up going to the school to kill Peter Parker.
Right.
And this is like just the big. It's a school fight. It's okay.
It's
he
a pretty
comes
good
out of
fight.
the toilet, which I kind of like.
Absolutely great gag.
He's a
comes out of the
ghoulie.
toilet.
Ghoulies go to high school.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks like a ghoulie because he's bald like the ghoulies.
yeah, he's like a big
This,
old ghoulie.
this is where we get our Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
Of
This
him
is a
being the
good
school
Stan Lee
librarian.
cameo for 2 reasons. 1, it's funny, and 2, he doesn't say anything.
It's silent. Yes, he's got headphones on and he's like a librarian shelving stuff, and he doesn't notice that his library is being torn apart during this fight.
It's pretty great.
Yeah,
it's
pretty good.
fine. It's just fighting. It's like just like break fight fight for the 45-minute end of this movie.
But what's
Yes.
weird is the bridge thing has way more like public peril here, which is why it feels like the end of a movie. This fight scene, the school fight scene, is a perfect mid-movie fight.
Yeah, because nobody's really.
The school's evacuated immediately. They're like the public isn't really in danger in that way.
Gwen Stacy gets involved a little bit here. Peter throws her out the window and saves her with a web.
Right.
Gwen Stacy gets the other fucking Denis Leary line when they're back, like fucking Peter Parker after the big fight comes up to her and like goes into her room at night, and then like Denis Leary is like, "I want some cocoa," and she's like, "No, Dad, I have cramps."
Oh, right.
And he
right.
acts like she just said, "I have 7 children on the way."
Yeah, well, it's your classic. He stole that joke from Tim. He wasn't stealing jokes from Bill
Hicks.
Thank you. He's stealing jokes from Tim Allen. Just the Tim Allen last angry man. Like, my daughter's got her period.
Now that's desperate. Now, to be fair, we don't know that Denis Leary wrote that joke.
No, I'm not.
But in that scene, it's also important because like he comes back in and he's like, he sneaks back into her bedroom and he's like, "So I'm Spider-Man. How, on a scale of 1 to 1,000,000, how horny are you right now?" And she is like, "Hey man, I don't think we could get it on because like you can't be coming into this room beat up all the time.
Yeah.
It's a lot to handle."
Sure.
She does have. There's a good moment here where she's like, "Listen, my dad's a cop. Every day he fucking straps a gun to the side of his body and walks out the door, and I never know when he's coming back," kind of thing. Which, as the son of a cop, I fucking totally relate to. Then it's hilarious because he's like, "Well, all right, if you don't want to fool around, you want to go web slinging?" And then he's just like, it's like fucking Superman. They just missed the song.
Isn't web slinging a kind of fooling around at this point for him?
Oh, yeah, well, you got to, your hands are all over the place.
See, that's the thing. Is like one is web, one is cum. She doesn't know. One is web.
Well,
one
no,
is
that's
cum.
not where it comes from.
Again, dude, I think you need to go back to biology.
Yeah, I don't really know
You
what's
have
good.
no fucking understanding of the
Anatomy
human
too.
body.
We really have to do a
They're-
whole wash
anyway,
here.
Holy shit.
But they were desperately trying to smash their whatever.
Yes, the whatevers.
These
smashing
fucking hillbilly schools in the middle of nowhere. My
smashing
God.
them. So the movie's almost over right now. Spider-Man's
You wish.
is briefly stunned by the police.
Right. Denis Leary shoots him from a helicopter.
He's got like the SWAT team. They care way more about Spider-Man than they do the Lizard on the loose.
The last act of the movie takes place. It's at night for some reason. It's just at night, and like the Lizard wants to. Lizard is kind of like most disgruntled fired employees. Just wants to get home to go back into the office, get his stuff. Like
Yep.
you know what I mean.
Yep.
And not have a hassle about.
Just trying to clear out that desk, dude.
I had an Amazon package that I didn't even open yet. Can I just? I'm not going to be weird about anything.
My bowling trophies, yes, much like the Uncle Ben, I have bowling trophies.
But he wants to get. Well, now he actually grabs his gas thing.
Right, the gas that has the lizard toxin in it.
And we don't get enough of the city of lizards because he starts spraying it. We get some cops.
I
turning
fucking
into
remembered
lizards.
way more City of Lizards, dude, and this is a massive letdown.
Yeah.
Because people should be going lizard crazy.
It should be like the last act of Chud where everything's on the table.
Yep, exactly. John Goodman's that cop in the diner. He's freaking out.
And like the only way to stop it is with a fucking gas explosion.
Yes, exactly. Bosch is there. And so there's a thing here where it's kind of hilarious because it's Spider-Man on a cell phone casually making a call.
Yeah.
And he calls Gwen Stacy and he's like, "Hey, this is what Kirk Connors is trying to do. You need to fucking haul ass up to the Oscorp office. This is how you make the fucking antidote and whatnot. And we need to get this. If we put that in this big machine, the cure will go out, yada, yada. Because the lizard's running around. He's just hucking these gas grenades at people.
Yeah. By the way, Denis Leary lets Spider-Man go because he sees that it's Peter Parker and, you
Realizes they're on the
need
same same side kind of a thing.
And also, so I mean, I just want like more like people turning into lizards, people not turning into.
I want pure body horror. I want like an hour.
I
of
want people
transformation
screaming. I want some old couple being scared, like, "Run, Harold! It's a monster!"
Exactly. And everyone's transforming, and I want people to be like, "There's a portal from hell down there." I heard.
You know what it has to be like? When people are going fucking crazy in Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone Flip City. She wants to know me, wants to know why. everyone gonna flip shit. And there's like that old lady, and she's got the fucking dogs that are dancing on her like mink coat. Like just mass hysteria.
Also, all these lizard people, most of them used to be cops, so they have guns. That's lizard monsters plus guns. Automatic.
I want one guy to be like, finally, this is what I've always wanted. Thank you, Lord, for answering my prayers. I'm a lizard.
In Today from New York City, the lizard people finally came out of the sewer. What have I been telling you people for years? This is going to be a celebratory chili night.
Oh, by the way, I'm emailing you child pornography. Oops.
I will be in jail for a long time. So much so, my children will forget I exist.
Oh, this benefits liberals. Okay, this was a false flag lizard invasion. You need to know this now, folks. A false flag lizard invasion.
They hired the Jim Henson Company to make these lizard puppets.
I'd be into it. I'd be okay for turning into a lizard, at least for like a little while.
Just a little bit, man.
yeah.
I want to know what it's like to lay an egg. Do you think like dudes could, if they turned into the lizard people, like could lay an egg?
I don't know how that
I want to
would
lay an egg.
Well, the thing is,
I want to cook your egg, dude.
That's what the lizard is all about. He's like, no. This fucking exterior genitalia nonsense. It's a trap.
Absolutely.
We need to start
like
laying
a
eggs.
Nice hole that
Yes, exactly.
sprays in and out of.
That's
I don't
it.
know
That's
how
all
it
you
works. I don't
need.
know how it works. I'll admit that.
So the lizard is like scaling the Oscorp building.
Nice scaling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, no,
dude.
this is.
Good for you.
Hold on. I'm just beeping somebody really quick. I just stopped the movie dead because fucking C. Thomas Howell's got his show back up.
This is so insane. And what is the deal? Because that's what it
He gets
is.
shot in the leg. Spider-Man does.
Denis Leary is like, all right, you can go, Spider-Man. And he runs off. And all these cops are like, hey, he's getting away from the boss. And they start firing wildly. And Denis Leary's like, hold your fire. And this one dude like nicks him in the thigh.
Yeah.
So then it's like Spider-Man's crawling off this building. And you get this news report. This guy's like, Spider-Man is scaling this building, looking a little sluggish. It appears Spider-Man may have a cramp. We don't know exactly what's happening. So he gets to the top.
Spider-Man had a big dinner. A report. Spider-Man had a very large dinner.
Spider-Man went swimming less than 30 minutes after eating.
I also think Spider-Man might have got nicked in that juicy, plump ass, that Spidey ass he's got. Anyway,
look
back
at
to
that.
you. with this-
Marsha, look at that thing. Can we get a camera on that? Wowza.
That kid's got a big ass.
Of course, it's slow dragging that thing all up the side of a building like that.
And he wants to
called gravity, folks.
And he wants to mash that with a human woman.
So yeah, C. Thomas Howell, I guess, like spies what's going on or sees the television.
And he knows exactly what to do.
And he's like, he gets on this phone and he's like, hey, Angelo, you got to call Vito and Carlo. Get all these guys up. Line them up, boys.
Meanwhile, the city is being evacuated due to lizard plague. And like this, and like one of the guys like, what are you talking about? We can't call anybody. They're evacuating the city. He's like, no. I'm calling in favors tonight. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not turning into a lizard. Go fuck yourself.
I'm C. Thomas Howell, and I'm the leader of all these crane people.
And I'm the last guy you want to mess with a crane.
And so, like, all these motherfuckers in hard hats are just operating this machinery and lining up all of these cranes so that Spider-Man has, like, an easy, straight shot to Oscorp Tower.
Which is very similar to all that stupid shit that happened in all three of those Raimi movies where it's like, we're New Yorkers. You don't mess with us.
Get out of our city.
And the original one happened on a fucking bridge.
Exactly. It's just, don't do it again. Like, that's the easiest thing not to do.
Audiences around the world cringed 3 movies in a row.
Yes. Why make it a perfect 4?
But they don't know if it's in New York unless...
Yeah, we're all getting involved. So he's
Actually, I wrote down the first C. Thomas Howell line because it's really starts off the stupidity. He's talking to some guy on the job, and he's like, hey, you still friends with Matthews, that crane operator?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, the crane movie's starting.
He gets there. Now he's fighting the lizard.
Little rooftop action.
We do get, because we don't want to make, and I think this movie does a decent enough job at trying not to make Emma Stone, a damsel in distress. She does not get kidnapped.
No, she makes the solution.
She makes the solution. She's got her own sort of side mission at the very least.
Yeah.
So the points. But she escapes the building, and Denis Leary is like, I got to go in and help Spider-Man. And he runs up. He's got a shotgun. And he's going to kill the lizard.
This is kind of cool because you get Denis Leary shotgunning this fucking Monstar. For a little
Totally.
bit.
And there's like liquid nitrogen all over the place. It's this close to Dennis Leary being in a Terminator movie.
Call the John now. You want to call John? Let me tell you about calling John. John Connor is a piece of shit. He always was.
I'm going to be outside. You get on that phone. You call John Connor. I'm going to be out here smoking. I love to fucking smoke.
This does not compute. There seems to be some type of time anomaly. You say you're a comedian. You do the same act as another comedian. It doesn't make. Am I in the wrong time?
Although I do appreciate your love of leather jackets, which I too love leather jackets.
Take it off. Take off your
Slowly.
pants.
I need your. Yeah.
No. Do it slowly.
I
Do
need
it
your-
sensually.
I need your boots, your bike, and your comedy routine.
What is
Boy.
the deal with this cancer?
Boy, I sure do love smoking. Every time I get around a cigarette, I just want to go, mwah, 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 mwah. I love to smoke.
I am an asshole. Leo, 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 Leo.
A cappuccino. I want a cappuccino, not the weird stuff, just plain black coffee.
I tripped over my son's Darth Vader toy in the hallway, and it scared the shit out of me.
These are my comedy jokes.
So, yeah, it's a big fight. The lizard totally impales Denis Leary right here with his big claw hand.
He murders him.
Spider-Man gets the antidote up into the thing before the timer runs out, so the antidote is what sprays all over the island.
The lizard's tail gets cut off, and it gets. Spider-Man rips it off.
Yeah.
and then it just comes back.
That's
It's kind
in
of
the
gross. Yeah.
You
school
think you
fight.
could take that shit to like a Korean barbecue and cook it up?
Oh, absolutely. That'd be delicious.
It'd be so good. But
You have
now
to pay
the-
extra, though, for sure.
the
Oh, BYOM cabin,
You're
bring your
gonna
own
have
meat?
to- I mean,
Absolutely.
you're using their labor. I mean, you can't.
antidote is in the air. Curt Connor just turns to a half-man.
Yeah.
I guess
half-man,
because
half
like he
lizard.
injected himself with so much of that shit that
Yeah.
it's like only going to revert so far.
And he's like, "What have I done?
right. Yeah.
Oh no, Peter! Oh bummer!"
He saves young Parker from certain doom by pulling him back up or whatever.
All I wanted was a city of lizards.
Okay. I thought you wanted a hand, but I guess
I started there, but it became an addiction. I needed a whole city of lizards.
You killed Denis Leary, the king of the cops. You might as well slide off that roof and just fucking end it right
Well, that's
there.
the thing, dude. The lizard, Curt Connors, that is indeed brought into police custody, never to be seen again, Rikers Island.
Well, no, we see him actually at the end of this stupid movie. with a bullshit stinger.
Fuck. Yeah, you're right.
but then he's murdered right after that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so like he's as he's dying, Peter's like, "Oh man," and again, more not overacting, but just too intense acting from Andrew Garfield. Just, like Leary doesn't give a shit. Yeah, I'm dying. What are you gonna do? And he's like,
Give me last one smoke.
but he's
You
like,
got frappuccino. You got crappuccino. You got Peter.
no, but he's dying, and he's like, Peter, come close. I'm dying. You gotta come. I have one last wish you have to honor.
anything, Captain Stacy.
You've got to neg my daughter hard.
You got it.
Neg her, Peter.
And then he just drops dead, dude.
By the way, I know Steve often plays YouTube clips on here.
Oh.
I found there's a Arnold does have a routine about smoking, and it's really good. Let's see if this is it.
Because after dinner, everyone ought to have a cigar. So I tried it. Well, the rest is history. I'm still smoking stogies. I love it. And he introduced me to something really good. And I know now the next question. Knowing you, being the interviewer that you are,
He's doing this interview with
digging in
sunglasses.
deep all the time, you will say now, what does your wife think about that? Let me ask you something. When my wife's father has introduced me to stogies, what is she going to say? She's not going to say my father made a mistake, because her father never makes a mistake. So therefore, it is okay. I can smoke stogies around her. I can smoke stogies in my house.
Stop saying
First of all,
stogies.
because her father introduced me to stogies, and second of all, because I'm a stud and ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
Who's he talking to?
I don't know, but it was going around the internet. I just had to share. 'cause
I
it's so
love that.
good.
Thank you.
Stogies.
Like my stogies.
You're a stogie and I'm a stogie. We're all stogies.
You can tell he's trying to hold it back for so long, and then he's like, you know what? No, it's because I'm a stud. I'm a fucking
Yeah.
star.
That's
I'm a
it.
fucking star.
That's his Denis Leary routine.
Yeah,
That's so great.
He's like, oh, you know, you're too dangerous. You have to stay away from my dog.
Well, it's the classic thing of like,
Yeah.
danger will always find you. The city needs you, but danger will always find you and the ones you love.
and I'm like, totally cool, man. Hey, you dead? Awesome. Hey, Gwen, you want to go to the movies? Because
I
fuck
need
that
to see,
dead fucker.
dude, bring the camera back behind Andrew Garfield's back and he's doing some crosses.
Yeah,
Crossing them fingers, dude. This dead guy doesn't know it.
And I mean, like, sure, you're not allowed to date her because you made a vow to this dude and you're an honorable person, blah, blah, blah. You're still allowed to go to his funeral and not leave this woman, like, wondering where you are.
Oh, I've been to plenty of funerals where I'm not horny.
Exactly.
Really?
Well, one, right? Just that one.
Just the one time.
That's every time for me.
Oh yeah, Chris has got more rigor mortis than the corpse. He's always got a heart on this guy.
Yes, I do.
See, I know biologies.
So it's kind of hilarious. Like Peter Parker goes home. There's kind of a nice gag where Aunt May has chastised him earlier in the film for I asked you to bring eggs home and you
Yeah.
didn't. And he comes back beat to fuck and he's got this nice dozen eggs. Kind of a funny gag. We see his bedroom. Did you catch what's going on this wall?
No.
So it's a wall. It's like family photos, a really nice young like Apocalypse Now era Martin Sheen.
Oh, yeah. Like,
You know, all these great
publicity
family
still.
photos.
Yeah.
But then right in the middle of all of this is the fucking computer printout of the sketch artist from
Yeah.
the dude who, like the suspect who murdered Uncle Ben is right in the middle of all of it.
Still looking for him, dude.
Yeah, but you know what, man? How about that's on a different bulletin board?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
How
just
about
saying.
learn to forgive and maybe grow as a character a little bit.
What if- I mean, also, how many of those people who returned between Lizard and back to person actually made it? Like 10%?
We see a lot of those cops like,
Yeah.
like turning back to people.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. There has to be at least a couple of these little like lizard people that got beaten
Like-
to death with baseball bats.
The first couple gorillas from Hollow Man
Yeah.
before they got the one that goes directly.
Exactly.
The one that's got a belly melting out.
An old
essentially.
guy had a fucking lizard heart attack. Totally
absolutely.
happened.
What's happening to me?
It's too bad Leary died because he could walk around with a handgun, putting people out of their misery.
Oh, that'd be
yep.
nice.
You know,
Yep,
just
that's his job.
Yeah, just shooting his fellow officers in the
Or
head.
what if somebody was like actually like, oh my, finally a lizard. He gets in a car to leave the city because he doesn't want to be cured.
That
Yeah.
would be an interesting sequel setup. Is someone left the vicinity? Someone got in the river, just swam away, swam out
Totally.
to Staten Island. Oh, then Staten Island finally becomes the quarantine zone it deserves to be.
The city of lizards.
It's a city of lizards. So that's pretty much it. Spider-Man is shown jumping around in slow motion. He's slinging some web at the camera. But I think that they were like, hey, Marc, you got to cut that short because otherwise you're just giving your audience a facial.
That's true.
It's like 20 more minutes of
Mixing
like
your audience.
of him being sad and like he goes to class.
The
and,
funeral.
and
yeah.
the teacher
It's
is
too
like, Mr.
fucking much.
Mr. Parker, can we end this movie? Mr. Parker.
Yeah.
No, I have to get back with her, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
well, yep.
he does like this little thing where he's like, you know, promises are made to be broken or something like
Well,
that.
so he's late for class,
Yeah.
and the teacher's like, late again. And he goes, I won't be late anymore, I promise. And she goes, don't make a promise you can't keep. And he goes, yeah, but those are the best ones. And then she's like, smirk, I just got negged. Credits.
I just got negged and my dad is dead. Awesome.
And in both the cases of Gwen Stacy with losing her father and Peter Parker losing Uncle Ben, they are at school the next day. What are
Totally,
we
man.
talking? You know
Doesn't
what,
make
man?
sense.
Take some time.
Mm-hmm.
Outrageous. Yeah, so that's pretty much the end of the movie here. We get this
Until-
weird, like, mid-credit stinger scene where it's Curt Connors is in jail.
Yeah.
And then, like, this mysterious dude just appears in the jail cell, and it's like, you never told him about where he's from.
Oh, you know who that is, don't
I
you?
do.
I
The
do
late
not.
Mr. Garbage Island himself, Michael Massey,
Michael Massey, man.
is playing this, like, man in black character.
Look, Lizard, I got a home for you on Garbage Island, okay? You can pull a couple newspapers up around yourself. You'll be just fine.
Do you like being a lizard person? No, I don't.
And he's just like, you cannot tell the boy who he really is. It's like, it's some, like, coded horse
Yeah,
shit.
it's apparently Peter Parker's like some prince of Moldavia or something. Like, what is this
Who
shit?
could care? And it never happens because this franchise was an abomination from the start.
And this guy vanishes. He's in a locked jail cell, and he vanishes into the shadows.
But no, he's got the power. If you got that much juice, you can get in any jail cell you want.
Gotcha. Oh, it's about the juice.
It's all about the juice.
I see.
You liking the juice?
You like the juice.
Isn't he famous Spider-Man villain, whatever man? Like, just who does whatever and can just do?
Well, some people
See,
were
he was bitten by radioactive whatever.
some people were suspecting that it was Norman Osborn,
Yeah.
but I guess in some interview before the sequel was made, Rhys Ifans was like, "No, he's not, but he's a dude that works for Norman Osborn."
Hey, pretty awesome.
Yeah. Hey, cool, Rhys. Thanks a lot, buddy. Great interview tidbit.
I guess if they did, because if the second one did well, they would have done a Sinister Six movie, and I guess Rhys fans would have come back for that.
Well, because
Yeah.
that's how that second movie Stinger ends,
Yes.
right? Is that fucking hall of garbage?
Like, Confior was supposed to be one of them. It was a whole fucking thing.
What a Duke-tastrophe this whole thing was.
And it was just too soon for Spider-Man. We don't need, and it's too soon for Batman. Honestly, like, I'm excited for this Batman movie,
Yep.
and I'm gonna see it because I'm a fucking simp. But this cyclical nature, at some point, to
And it's
retell
crazy,
the same story.
because think about the time we had between Batman and Robin
Yeah.
and Batman Begins.
Yes.
Right? Like that. I mean, it wasn't 10 years, but it was enough.
It was like
time.
7 years.
But in between that, there were so many legal thrillers.
The
All these
legal
movies
thrill-
that are gone.
I
legal
missed
thrillers are
the.
good.
Where are those
Yes.
fucking legal thrillers? Where are the cyber thrillers? Where are the erotic thrillers?
Give me some guy running in the
Very
rain.
rarely do movies include boats that are wired to explode anymore. You
That's
know what I
so
mean? Like
true.
a houseboat that someone's living on.
Yeah.
Dark
There's some
Knight.
fun.
But that ruins
No
the
one's-
perfection of that film.
No one's living on it though.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
I
house.
need
fuck,
It's got
like
a
yeah,
a
right.
houseboat.
CD.
Yeah.
I
A
need,
residence.
And it's got files in it that are
Someone's
important.
pouring a glass of whiskey on a boat under the boat, like
And-
sleeping next to a dirty bed.
Because they're super divorced.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Where
Where's all
are
the
these
divorce
movies?
Where's the divorce movies?
Where
It's all about fucking little kids in outfits.
Can I let you know that there have been in the last 19 years roughly 76 superhero movies made.
That's outrageous.
Marvel properties in the last 20 years there's been 32. 32.
Wow.
We should mention these are numbers that Steve crunched himself for
Yes.
no reason.
I mean, for literally no reason. No, I'm sorry, 46 Marvel movies. It's just it's nuts.
You counting Man-Thing in that, dude?
No, it's got to be theatrical.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like Stan Lee did that speech at Devil's Advocate. Like, can anyone tell? Can anyone deny that the entire 21st century was entirely mine?
So I was smoking a J with Pandora, and I said, "Hey, that box is kind of like my comic books."
I mean, you're not wrong, right?
It's just
Like,
you-
we have really been digging our heels into this
And
shit.
and they're already talking about the X-Men movies are coming back. Even like in Far From Home will probably be A, good, and B, do well, et cetera, et cetera. But like the clock is ticking for the Spider-Man movie to come back. Maybe I'll be old enough to play Uncle Ben one
And
day.
then
That'd
Robert
be cool.
Downey Jr. wants Ironheart. Like, he already wants that thing start
Ironheart?
right back. Isn't it his second or third? I forget what her name is.
Oh yeah, he's got like a protege that's like a young African American woman.
And I think they call her Ironheart rather than Iron.
But RDJ would be involved?
No, he was just calling for it to start. Like, he was, because he can't take that the fucking press aren't fucking dying for his comments anymore.
Well, he's got that cool idea about using all that technology to save the ocean, man.
yeah, it seems like a scam.
Did you already send him a check for $50?
No, but I'm just imagining.
RDJ's like, all right, Steve, I just need a check for $50 and your social security number.
Send it to care of Happy Dude.
All right, that's enough. That's the
Yes,
end of
please.
The Amazing Spider-Man Part 1. Would anybody recommend this movie?
No, it's like totally inessential. It's pretty innocuous, which is why I think I was attracted to it to begin with, because it doesn't take a big enough swing. Like that third Spider-Man movie is terrible, but it's taken some pretty big dumb swings.
Yeah.
This one doesn't do that. It's just totally clean. It's actually filmed. I don't think Mark Webb is very good at all. It's filmed very much like a TV show, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like none of the
It
shots.
does feel like a TV
Yeah.
None of
show.
the shots
yeah.
are very particularly memorable. Just a no. I liked Garfield. I think with better material, maybe, but no.
Yeah, I think that's true. I what I like about this is the central like Gwen Stacy, him, and Gwen Stacy's father. That stuff works.
Yes.
And all the actors work in
Yeah.
those situations. But
Yep.
like, it is that thing. It's weird to think about it this way. But like, Spider-Man 3 was just such a fucking like throw it all out there
Yes.
that like all I wanted was boredom.
Yes.
Like, and this delivered boredom.
Yes.
So I was like, that's fine with me. And like coming back to it now, it is like impossible to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for me. You know, when I did see it originally, I was like, oh yeah, that was totally fine. It's, you know, it's just innocuous. It's just a Spider-Man movie. It's fine. It's fun. Going back to it, I was just so fucking bored. And that runtime, you feel every minute of it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's interesting because two questions I have related to the Spider-Man world, the movie world,
It's
right?
about
So
his
like,
butt, his plump ass.
not at all. Would we be more okay with this movie if this was the first Spider-Man movie? Like if the first time we got a
Yeah.
really good Spider-Man
So
movie was the
no
Raimis
Toby.
don't exist.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I would be like,
no.
You
Like,
don't think so?
The lizard thing would bother the shit out
Yeah,
of me.
I mean,
him
he-
being a dinosaur, like that would really be a stick
that's
in my
what it
He's a
was.
craw.
That's what a
Goomba,
lizard-
dude. Listen.
That's what a lizard is. Lizard is a dinosaur.
No, I mean, I kind of split the difference. Like, yeah, you'd probably be okay with it. You'd probably like the movie more. It would,
Right.
it would matter more. Like, that's the thing is, like,
Yeah.
it would be the Spider-Man movie. So you'd be
Right.
like, this is how I could see Spider-Man. Now you just know you're getting it every 3 years.
And now, so here's the other thing. So the other side of this question then is, are we now looking back? I guess, do we have a clearer vision of this movie, or is the vision skewed of this first movie at least, because we have things like Into the Spider-Verse and Tom Holland being
Yeah.
Spider-Man in these movies that I think at least are better than this portrayal?
Oh, quite a lot.
So are these now informing how we feel about these two movies?
Probably to a degree. I mean, it
Yeah.
would have to, right? We've seen them.
But yeah, no, I mean, I guess just like because we know you can do it better.
I will say though, like, I like the Holland first Spider-Man movie a lot. There's a lot about it I don't necessarily like. I don't like Spider-Man being an Avenger. Seeing this trailer, because you have to see the whole fucking movie in the trailer now.
Yep.
But it seems like it's a lot more Avenger-y stuff and a lot more like, gee Willikers, I want to train to be like a blah, blah, blah. What I like about this is like Spider-Man's his own dude. You know what I mean? Like this movie has some of that stuff, which I like about the character, but like, again, it's very dull.
Because the event, well, I disagree because the Avengers stuff, which usually annoys the piss out of me in all the other Avengers movies,
Yeah.
them sprinkling in to make sure everybody reminds that this is the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It works there because he wants to be like,
Sure.
he's aspiring to be it. Like it's part, I actually believe it as part of his worldview. Like even a normal kid would just want to be an Avenger. So like, I kind of get it.
Peter
at least.
Parker is sort of like a good gateway for us as the audience.
Yes.
So like everybody wants to be a superhero.
I liked Far From Homecoming a lot, a whole lot. Really
Far
good.
from Homecoming.
Far From Homecoming. That's the two movies put together.
Far From Homecoming is the movie about the kids who don't want to go to the dance that they hang out the diner down the road. So final question. Which of these two, this fucking aborted failure franchise of Spider-Man, which of these two movies is better? Is it part one or is it part two?
I'm a big on 2 because 2 is way stupid. Like they go all the fuck out
That's
stupid in that
true.
one.
You have Paul Giamatti.
It's crazy town. It's absolute
Right.
fucking lunacy.
No,
Jamie
I
Foxx.
would say I think the first one is better, absolutely unequivocally. But
I agree with that.
if I had to watch one of them again, I'd
Yeah.
probably watch the second one because at least I could just get obliterated and forget my troubles and chuckle at Jamie Foxx.
if I remember Jamie Foxx's like besieged janitor character kind of didn't really come together for me.
Nope.
I think this one is more grounded, and
I don't
It's like
appreciate it.
It's like a C- versus a pure on F.
this.
You know
Yeah,
what I
this is
mean?
like paint by numbers, and then the sequel is like Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, wow,
hard.
that is an excellent way to put it. And that is The Amazing Spider-Man from 2012, directed by Marc Webb. If you want more We Hate Movies, head on over to patreon.com/We Hate Movies. There will be an episode up soon enough on there where we're talking about another Sally Field classic, Forrest Gump. Gird your loins for that one.
It's
Our Star Trek
okay to
show,
like it.
what?
It's okay to like
Of
Forrest
course.
Gump.
Nobody cares if
that's
you
your
do.
thing,
Nobody
yeah.
cares if you don't.
And it's
We're
a-
just telling jokes.
And it's okay to like Star Trek too.
Speaking of which, we do have a Star Trek podcast, The Nexus. Of course, we're going through the original series and Star Trek The Next Generation.
We got
at the same
Chekhov
time.
coming on. He's
Chekhov
all over the place
coming.
now. No, he's here.
Yeah,
He's here.
He's
That's
here,
right.
dude.
Bad wig and all. But as always, We Hate Movies rolls on into next week, and the Summer Blockbuster Extravaganza does continue. Steve Sadek, what do we have on tap?
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the ugly truth.
Oh, Lord. This is Gerard Butler
And Katherine
Heigl at odds until they fall in love.
Oh yeah, get that plump Spidey.
Gerard Butler's like a man cow esque.
Yes,
Indeed.
Shock
He's a shock jock kind of dude. Is he on the radio, though, or is it television?
I think he's on like he's getting on TV now. Like
Okay.
they're bringing him on TV for the
I was
first
gonna
time.
say his voice doesn't really work for radio, right? It sounds like someone putting rocks in a dishwasher. Or something.
I've got a face for radio.
That too. I mean, I guess that too. Yeah. I mean, ugh.
I have seen this movie, but I have also greened this movie, so I don't really remember a whole ton of it. But this is, of course, we always like to do a rom-com during Summer Blockbuster Extravaganza, just to lighten the load a little bit. And we always have fun with romantic comedies here
We
on the
do
show.
indeed.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Until next week, with The Ugly Truth, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Chris Cabin.
Eric Siska.
Take it easy.
That was a HeadGum podcast.